Peace and blessings, Mishpachah, Shabbat Shalom. Yes, this is the day that we celebrate. Yes, this is the day that we celebrate being in the presence of the Most High. We celebrate this day, this being the seventh day from creation, understanding that the weekdays have never changed. The weekdays have never changed. However, the numerical days within the calendars have. There's always been a record of the seventh day, and this is the day that we celebrate as having been the day that the Most High did finish his creation, and we ourselves were able to relax and enjoy that rest that he entered into. And so this day is here because we are connected with the Most High. We have a covenant with him, and so we enjoy his presence on this day. Covenant is our connection with him. As he rests, we rest. And so it's like he is coming to visit us. We do not want to be rude and do something like go to work while he's here in our house, and we're going to leave the house and go to work when he's here. No, we don't do that. But hey, this is the day that he's made. We rejoice in it. We're glad in it. And you know what? I am your more for this channel. I'm Melchi Uriel. And today we will have the Torah portion from Bereshit, chapter 28, verse number 10, going all the way through to chapter 32. And it's going to be a wonderful discussion. Man, it's going to be a deep discussion, because in it, we're going to see, once again, we're going to see the hand of the Most High moving and interacting with humanity. Okay, the Tanakh is not about Adam. It's not about Eve. It's not about Abraham, Isaac, or Jacob, or anyone else, but it's about how the Most High is dealing with those that are his children, and it's about how he moves, how he deals. And so people like Jacob become the subject. Well, hey, we'll be right back, and hey, we will greet you, and we'll get on with it as soon as we return. And I'm your moray, yes, Melchi Uriel, glad to be here. All praises to the Most High. I greet you in the name of Yah. I greet you in the name of the Most High. I greet you in righteousness and holiness and truth and in peace. And I say to each and every one of you, Shalom Alechem. And I want to give you notice that, yes, this is a wonderful time to be serving the Most High, because he's definitely moving. He's definitely moving on our behalf, though sometimes it may not seem so. But as we look at the lesson today, hey, it's going to be very evident that he is doing that. As I greet you all, I serve you notice, those of you that may be new to this channel, those of you that will see this, this is a Yah-only platform. This is a Tanakh-only platform. And you may say, well, why don't you just go along with the flow like the crowd does? And, you know, look at the New Testament and just get down with JC in the New Testament. Well, we're forbidden to do that. Well, what do you mean forbidden? We're forbidden in that if we were to take the Most High at his word and allow his word to be truth, it would forbid us. There'd be no way that we can embrace the Christian New Testament, and there'd be no way that we could accept the notion that someone died for us, because it is written in the word of the Most High, the eternal King of the universe said that everyone dies for themselves. Now, if other men want to come and concoct some sort of, religious, construct and say, yeah, yes, you can. Well, they can do that all they want. We are going to side with the Most High. We stand upon the Tanakh, the words that were handed down to us, believed to be all the way from Moses, all the way from Mount Sinai or Mount Horeb, and given to us. And these are This corpus of material is that we stand upon, and it forbids us to embrace any other Elohim, any other God, any other truth, any other religion other than that agrees with what the Most High is saying in the words that have been given unto us. Well, with that being the case, we then judge everything according to the words of the Most High. I remind you of Isaiah 8:20 concerning this law and this testimony. If they speak not according to this word, then there is no light in them. And I find that when I compare the words, even some of the words that they put in the mouth of Yeshua ben Yosef, called Jesus by the Greeks and the pagans, the words of the so-called Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, which did not exist, those are pseudonyms or false names. Even when I consider the words of the so-called Apostle Paul, I find that they are very dim. There is no light in them. And so we do not embrace them. We do not walk by them. Neither are we made to feel guilty or afraid that we do not co-sign to any of the tenets of Christianity. We utterly reject every last one of the tenets and so-called beliefs of Christianity. But we stand for the Most High. We stand upon His word. We stand upon that eternal truth, flat-footedly and plainly, without hesitation, without excuse, and without remorse. We stand and we worship the Most High, and we worship Him by means of obedience. We obey Him. We keep His laws, statutes, and His commandments. And in doing so, we know that we walk righteously before Him. Righteousness does not come by believing in some fictitious story, but righteousness comes by doing that is right. Even your so-called Christian Bible tells you that. It says that you are going to be judged for things that you do in your body, whether they be good or whether they be bad. And this completely negates your notion that Christ is living the law for you and that He is your righteousness. If He was your righteousness and everything is under the blood and He's living the law for you, then why are you judged? Okay? According to Corinthians 10:5, if I'm calling that correctly, I believe it's 2 Corinthians 10:5. Why are you then going to be judged if Christ is your righteousness and, He's living the law for you? It makes absolutely no sense, because it is a man-made spiritual construct. And when you simply take the truth, yes, the truth, and touch it, just let it rub up against one of their notions, one of their so-called revelations, one of their so-called truths, the entire house of cards comes tumbling down. And so we stand upon His word. I greet you on behalf of the word of the Most High. I greet you on behalf of His truth and His knowledge that He has given unto us. And with that being the case, I just want to say, my brothers and sisters, that we greet you in the name of the Most High. I am your More Malkia Uriel. For those of you that love the Most High and you seek to do His commandments, you are welcome on this channel. We say that we that love the covenant, we stand by the smaller version of the covenant, which is found in these 10 sayings. That number one, we will have no Elohim before the true Elohim that created the heavens and the earth and mankind and all that there is within the earth itself, and created us in His image and in His likeness. We will not have any other spiritual being, any other Elohim that we bow down to and that we worship. Also, we will not make to ourselves any graven images, anything of stone, anything of wood, or even anything of an idea or an ideology, and come up with some sort of revelation or some notion that a man was elevated to the position of being God, or that God was actually a man that filled diapers, and that, it's absolutely ridiculous. We refuse to embrace that foolishness, but rather we stand upon the truth and just simply say that we do not worship any idea, anyone or anything that is not the Most High. We will not make any image to bow down unto it. Also, we will not take the presence nor the character nor the name of the Most High in vain. We also honor Shabbat this day to keep it holy before him, and we keep it holy by making it separate. We keep it holy by sanctifying it and doing no work, no labor. We absolutely refuse to do anything that will make us sweat by means of labor on this day, for this is a day of rest. This is a day of ease. This is a day of concentrating on the presence and the word and the life that the Most High has given unto us. And also we honor our mothers and our fathers, that our days may be long upon the earth. We honor them, for we stand upon their shoulders. And even as Samuel poured libation, we are able to pour libation for our ancestors in remembrance, and also remembering their sins. But at the same time, we do not leave out food for the dead, as is an ancient African tradition. We stand upon the word of the Most High, and it forbids us to do so. But we do honor our mothers and our fathers, that our days may be long upon the earth. Also, we will not commit murder and shed innocent blood. We do not at all believe in shedding innocent blood. We will not commit adultery, and we will not steal. We do not take that does not belong to us, for the Most High has blessings with our name on it. And yes, we do indeed realize that we are to be a true witness in the court of law, in the court before the Most High. We will speak the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. And we do follow him, and we will obey his word. Also, we absolutely refuse to covet anything that anyone has, for we know that we're the head and not the tail. We're above and not beneath. We are blessed of the Most High, for he is no longer upset nor angry with Israel, but now he seeks to bless Israel, and we walk therefore in his blessings. With that being stated, my brothers and my sisters, we follow the laws, statutes, and the commandments of the Most High. And on this channel, we also pray. Yes, we pray every Shabbat morning, but we do it in a slightly different way. We first of all ask ourselves the question, have we set out on purpose with the intent to actually break the laws of the Most High? Did we concoct in our mind that we were going to break the laws of the Most High? And if we did, then of course we must repent. Now, repentance is not saying I'm sorry. Repentance is actually demonstrated action, showing that you're able to do what is right from a heart filled with joy and peace and a pure conscience. You're able to do that is right, and therefore you walk in righteousness, according to the book of Ezekiel, 18th chapter, verses 20 all the way through 23, says that you are then forgiven. You don't even have to ask for forgiveness of sins when you demonstrate your righteousness, and you demonstrate that you no longer do the bad thing, but that you do the right thing. It is then that you are automatically forgiven. You are given what the Tanakh would allow you to understand to be regeneration and restoration, right there according to Ezekiel chapter 18 verses 20 through 23. Well, also, if you did not seek out to to disobey the words of the Most High, maybe you did something that you didn't know was wrong. Well, therefore we go before the Most High with mercy, and so we would ask him for mercy. So let's take a little bit of inventory and let's get ready to pray. Be right back. Baruch atah Yah, oh blessed are you, Yah, B'hashemayim b'haaretz, in the heavens and also in the earth. Nachnu am shel habrit shelech, and nachnu boim lifnecha. We are your people of the covenant, and we come before you. We acknowledge you, Most High. We bless you, and we give you all the praise, the glory, and the honor, because you are the King of the universe. You are the King of the universe, and we stand before you. We want to thank you for giving us life, health, and strength. We thank you even for members of this community whose hand you have laid your hand upon them. You are restoring that needs to be restored. You're rejuvenating that needs to be rejuvenated. I thank you for the life of our dear elder, Christine Croning, who you are constantly touching and with. You're with her, constantly helping her, constantly making her days to be filled with joy, filled with truth, filled with insight. As well, we thank you for the healing of her body and the strengthening of her body. We thank you even for her ability to move and to exercise and to do what you have designed her body to do. We thank you for the restoration of full activity in her limbs and mobility. We thank you for her, and we thank you for how she is a blessing unto each and every one of us. She is a blessing to this community. And as well, we thank you for our brother George Evans, who's recently had a surgery. You brought him through it successfully. We thank you, Most High. We thank you for Papa Frank, for Penny, and for Josh. We thank you for them, members of our family. We pray that you would continue to bless them physically and bless them and reveal your covenant through them. Let everyone look upon them and say that they are truly blessed of the Most High. They have everything that they need. They are prosperous physically, mentally, financially, in every way imaginable, as well as every member of this community. Manifest your covenant. Give the world to see that we, as your covenant people, we are blessed of you for your word. Let us be a demonstration of your word as you bless us, as they observe us walking according to your laws, your statutes, and your commandments. Pour down upon us blessings, Most High, that the world will look and say, how are they blessed? How is it that they are blessed even in these times? How is it that they are prospering in the midst of everything that's going on? It is because of your covenant, and we embrace it. We walk in it. We say that we are the head and not the tail. We say that you are no longer upset with Israel, but rather you embrace us. You're watching over us to do us good rather than evil, and we thank you for it. We thank you, Most High. We give you praise. We're so glad to be on your side. We're glad that you are on our side, and we thank you, Most High, for this covenant. We exalt you. We give you praise, both in heaven and in earth. Let all of heaven rejoice. Let all of heaven praise you. Let every one of the B'nai Elohim bow their knee and give unto you the praise, the glory, and the honor throughout the whole earth, throughout all of creation. May you be praised. May you get the glory. Aman wa aman. Amen and amen. Well, you know, we love to give praise unto the Most High, and we do. We exalt him. We praise him for everything that he does, for who he is to us. It is a joy and an honor just to serve him in righteousness and in truth, and that is what we do. Well, when I come back, we're going to start the you know what, let me do this first. I'm going to give some shout outs first before we get into the Torah portion. Okay, we're going to give some shout outs. Well, in taking a look, all right, we know who turned the lights on, right? We know who turned the lights on. It's our brother from another mother. Yes, our brother, Bergen Paris. Peace and blessings to you and your family. I love you, my brother. I'm glad that you are here, our Minister of Safety and Security. Also, we have our brother Raymond Radcliffe with us. Peace and blessings to you, my brother. I'm glad that you are here. Our brother Adrian, the Minister of Economics, is here with us. And I am wondering what is on your mind this week concerning, concerning crypto and concerning investments. I'm wondering what's on your mind, brother Adrian. Hopefully you can call in and just maybe tell us what's on your mind here real quick during Hebrew Money. As well, our beloved elder, Christine Croning. May the Most High bless you. Love you so much. I'd give you such a big hug if you were here right now. Also, we want to thank the Most High for Miss H. Miss H, you are appreciated. Your presence is appreciated. You are appreciated for who you are in the Most High. I am glad, I am delighted every time I look up and I see that Miss H is in the house. Peace and blessings to you, Miss H. I pray that the Most High is blessing your socks off. and just glad that you are here, my sister. Also, we have with us, hey, Penny's in the house. Peace and blessings to you, Penny Frank. As well, we have Penny's our moderator, and her husband Josh. They're our moderators. Love them. That's my family, y'all. And as well, we have others. We have more watching than are in the chat room, as always. Come on into the chat room. The water's just fine. We don't bite unless you bite first. We want to have a good time. We're going to go ahead. I'll be right back. And when I do, we will begin the Torah portion for this, our Shabbat morning. Be right back.
Makes you laugh.
Well, all right. Grab your Tanakhs, grab your notebooks, grab your pens and papers. It's time to dig deep. Yes, here we go. We're going in. We're going to continue our Torah portion, which, by the way, for those of you that do not know, we have started the Torah portion. We've began it with the new year, with the new year that has been given to us in the Tanakh, which starts with the month of Aviv. That being so, we are now looking at Bereshit chapter 28, verse 10. We're going to begin there, and once we have reached the end, 32 and 3, we will continue. But for now, let's dig into this wonderful narrative that we have before us, which is, I'm telling you, there's a lot of nuggets and a lot of truth in this, and we're going to go ahead, we're going to dig in. Now, please keep in mind that this is a part of the Tanakh where we see lots of familial trickery. Lots of trickery coming from the family. Let me just say this about the family before we dig in. You're going to find that if you look at, excuse me, if you look at the original setting of the family was the first communal, or I should say, the first community that we were introduced to. I'm talking about the beginning of mankind. I'm talking about when families first began to flourish here on earth. All you had was family. You had your family members, you had your extended family members, but also, guess what else you had? You had the very body, if you will, of the world itself. In other words, your family members were the first introduction that you got to the world, not just to your family. Your family was the first introduction that you received that told you how the world operates. Many times we separate our families from the world and don't realize that our families and their units, they are, everything that they're made of, they are a portrait of the world itself. So everything that you find in the world, you're going to find a deposit of that inside your family. That's why some family members, you got some family members that seem like they're the biggest of sinners, and others they're the biggest of saints. And you always have, these extremes within your families. Don't think it's strange. Don't think it crazy. It is necessary, because it is important that the family be as much a replica of the world as the world is of itself, and it's for your benefit. It's for your, if you allow me to say it, it's for your shaping, it's for your molding, and it's also for your inoculation. It's here to help you to be who the Most High has helped you to be. So don't trip when your family goes left, when they crazy, when they treat you certain ways. It's all a part of the obstacle course. It's all a part of the design of the Most High making you into who he wants you to be. So don't be surprised when family members do you wrong. Don't be shocked. Don't be shocked at all. Some of us are shocked, like, oh, I can't believe they did it. No, you need to believe that they did that to you. Why? Because they are, again, a portrait of the world. Now, with that being stated, it's going to get deep around here. Let's go in to our reading for the day. I'm going to begin, and I'm going to just continue right on, because we begin at Genesis 28 and 10. We begin where Jacob had just gotten the birthright from Esau, his brother. And so here we find where he's on his way. He is actually on his way to his uncle Laban's house. And so now we pick up. And Yaakov went out from Beersheba and went towards Haran, and he lifted up upon a certain place. Now, please keep in mind, this certain place is going to really come into play here later. He lights upon a certain place and tarried there all night, because the sun was set, and he took the stones of the place and he put them for his pillows. I mean, you got to be a bad something other if you're using stone for your pillows, right? So he uses these stones for his pillows and really for his bed. And he laid down in that place. Now, I want you to notice what happens in verse number 12. He dreamt, right? And what he saw in the midst of his dreaming. Now, please keep in mind what we've always shared with you concerning dreams, that dreams is the language, the dream language is the language of the Most High. I've even heard it said that the dream language is also the language of the ancestors. While that's true, it is also the language of the Most High. And in it, according to Job, in the book of Job, I believe is it chapter 15 and verse 15? You're going to make me go there, aren't you? Looking at Job reads or is it 33 and 15? We're going to find out here. Let me go there real quick. But we find that dreams are used by the Most High. Okay, dreams are used by the Most High, and they are such that the Most High actually uses dreams to bring us. Yes, right here at 33 and 15. It mentions that in a dream and in a vision of the night. So many of you want to have waking visions, but a dream is just as much a viable vision as a dream during the day. A dream in the night is a vision in the night. And it mentions that when deep sleep falls upon men, when you get into REM sleep, in your slumbers upon your bed, then he opens your ears. The Most High will open up your ears, and he will seal your instruction, that he may withdraw you from, that he may withdraw man from his purpose and hide pride from man. In other words, he's going to take individuals out of their own purposes, right? And he's going to reveal to them what they should do and how they can be saved from the pit, and he will reveal his will unto them. That is the importance of dreams. The Most High will also prophesy to you in dreams, okay, and give you a prophetic word in dreams. But here we find Jacob having a dream, and he's about to be communicated with by the Most High. And notice what it reads, verse 12, and he dreamt, and behold, a ladder set upon the earth, and the top of it reached unto Hashemaim, and behold, the angels of Elohim ascending and descending upon it. Ascending and descending. In other words, they were in the midst of their business, okay? They were doing what they were doing, and in essence, what Yaakov saw was more than just a ladder. It wasn't a ladder like we would think of today, but it's more like the hanging gardens of Babylon, where you had one elevation and then you had a plateau, okay, like it was regular ground, and then another elevation and another plateau. And if you really want to get deep with it, these were actually striations of different foundations and different levels that went from the very lowest all the way to the top where the Most High was. So this was not some sort of like ladder where these angels are actually climbing, and oh, I got to go to earth again. Let me go down this No. It was more so something that was so astounding to Jacob that when he looked upon it, he was a changed man because of what he saw. Well, let's take a look at what the text reads. For the text reads that he dreamt and he saw this ladder. Okay, now the King James and translators, they are the ones that chose this word for ladder. Okay, they said that it was a ladder, right? Because they're trying to relay what I just intimated to you earlier of what Jacob was actually seeing. Well, it was set upon the earth, okay, and the top of it reached to heaven. Behold, the angels of the Most High were ascending and descending, and behold, Yah stood above it. He saw the Most High standing above it, and he even spoke to him and said, I am Yah, Elohim of Abraham, your father, and of Yitzhak, your daddy as well. And guess what? The land whereon you lie, to you will I give it, and to your seed. Verse number 14, by the way, it's going to punch a hole in Christianity right here. Verse number 14, and thy seed shall be as the dust of the earth. That foolishness that the Apostle Paul says, that the seed is one and the seed is singular, and that seed is supposed to be Christ. No, that is a lie. That is foolishness. We see here in the word itself that no, it is not one, as in one particular person. No, to the children of Yaakov, to the sons of Abraham, that's where the blessings go. Well, we see here that the Most High is talking to him, and he's telling him that all of your seed that is going to be as the dust of the earth, right? They're going to be spread abroad to the west and to the east and to the north and to the south. And in thee and in thy seed shall all the families of the earth be blessed. In this, it is established that the Apostle Paul, the one that they call the Apostle Paul, is a liar. He is a mistake. And by the way, don't think it's strange that I call him a liar. He calls himself a liar in Romans 6:3. So, needless to say, he admits to lying in Romans 6:3. Well, we see here when the Most High stood above it, he's blessing the seed of Abraham. He's blessing the seed of Jacob, right? And so I want you to see something that really comes into play. Now, keep in mind, the Most High told him right here in verse number 13. Notice what he says. I am Yah. I am the God of Abraham and of your father. Now, you'll notice that some of the same things that befell Abraham and that befell Isaac also befell Jacob. And this is the way the cookie crumbles. This is the way it rolls. This is how it has to happen. If you notice, in the beginning of Abraham's journey, what did the Most High call him to do? He said, look, dude, get up out of your daddy's house. Get up out of your daddy. Look, it's time for you to leave your daddy stuff alone. While he has you going in the right direction, going to Canaan, this is not the way that I want it to be, right? You're going in the right direction because I led him in the right direction. But now I need you to understand that this is about me and you. It's about covenant. I've got something for you to do. So we got to do this the right way. So the Most High took Abraham away from his people, and notice the Most High now does the same thing to Yaakov and takes him away from his people. Now, when the Most High spoke to Abram, it was simply by suggestion. Dude, get up out of Dodge. It's time for you to go. And you notice in the text, in the Tanakh, it reads that it says that for Yah had told Abraham, or Yah had been telling, if you want to look at it in the Hebrew, Yah, it's like Yah had been telling him over and over and over again, dude, it's time for you to get up and away from your daddy's house. So the Most High knows, he knows how we're convinced. He knows what it takes to get us to move. Listen, I'm here to give your heart peace this morning. If you are concerned about whether you're following the will of the Most High, or if you're upset with yourself because it seems like you're behind, and maybe I'm talking to myself because sometimes it does seem like, man, you got to move quicker. You got to do this. Listen, then I'm talking to you and me when I tell you this. The Most High knows how many times you need to be told before you finally get it. He knows how many times you have to be inspired. He knows how many times it's going to take. He knows that a lot of times you're not going to do it at the first mention. Like Abraham, he had to tell Abraham over and over and over. The Most High knows you. He knows you. He knows where you live. He knows all of your ways. He says that he's going to bless you and keep you in all of your ways, right? Which includes the way you are on a normal basis when you're just thinking about, oh, well, you know, like some of us is like, oh, it didn't dawn on me that that's what he wanted me to do. He knows that it didn't dawn on you. Don't be so hard on yourself. Don't trip. Don't be so hard on yourself. The Most High knows. Now, again, be diligent and be respectful of his will and his ways, but don't be so hard on yourself that you're like, hey, you know, I'm not like others and I didn't do it at the first mention. Listen, the Most High knows exactly who he's dealing with, okay? And he's not afraid of you. He's not afraid to deal with you. He understands all your little hiccups and your little crazy quirks that you have. He understands all of that. He knows exactly who he's dealing with. So, hey, relax. Don't take yourself so seriously. Know that the Most High, he's got you. You're in his hand. Don't even trip about that, okay? Well, as we continue, take a look here, we find that the Most High is dealing with Jacob in a dream. And so just as Abraham had to leave his house, now Jacob has to leave, but it's happening through a different way. Many of us, we expect things to be the same. Well, this is the way it was with Abraham. Oh, the Most High just gonna speak to me and I'm gonna just do it just like my granddaddy. No, that's not the case with Jacob. It ends up being the same thing, but a different way. It's like they say, history, yeah, it may not repeat itself, but it definitely does rhyme. We find Jacob having to leave his house, and even though it was under different circumstances, Abraham did not leave with a brother that really had thoughts of killing him, right? But Abraham did leave with Lot. Jacob didn't leave with Lot, but notice the same thing has to happen. Jacob ends up leaving, just like Abraham ends up leaving. Abraham had to deal with family members. Now Jacob has to deal with family members, and we find some of the same elements presenting themselves, only in a different way. My brothers and sisters, my Hebrew brothers and sisters, you got to see the bigger picture, okay? It's the same pattern that's unveiling itself, but simply in a different way. What pattern are you living right now? What pattern is present in your life right now? What pattern are you actually going through and living right now? You gotta take note of it, right? Because the will of the Most High is going to be done. As we mentioned to you before, that the will of the Most High is going to be done, and if the will of the Most High and his what we would call his anointing, his presence to get his will done, if that drops in a pack of people that are liars and cheaters, then lies and cheating is gonna be the medium that these lying and cheating people use. But you bet your bottom dollar the will of the Most High is going to still be done. And Yaakov is still in the midst of a people that are not full of integrity. Okay? We're going to see here that, yeah, people are the same. When it comes to money, they get very funny. Well, let's take a look here and let's keep reading. Let's keep on, okay, as we take a look here at what is being read. Verse number 15, and behold, I am with thee, and I will keep thee in all the places where you go. Now, when I read this, what really stuck out to me was that the Most High told him, look, I'm going to give you this land, but look, you need to understand that I'm with you wherever you go. In other words, you don't have to pray and ask me if it's my will for you to go 10 feet to the left and 5 feet to the right. No, you don't have to ask. I'm simply going to be with you, Jacob. I'm going to be with you wherever you go. I'm going to be with you whatever you do, because that's the covenant that we're rocking with. And so we need to embrace that same thing. I once prayed for a lady who had to first pray to see if I was the one that the Most High was leading to pray for her. And then after she prayed to see if I was the one to pray for her, then she prayed again to see what we should pray. And I mean, it was just ridiculous. You don't have to be that goofy. Y'all, there's no need for you to be that spooky, be that goofy. The Most High's got you. As long as you are intending to fulfill his laws, statutes, and his commandments with a heart of integrity and love and truth, hey, you have nothing to worry about. It doesn't matter if you go left or you go right. I'm not saying do wrong, but what I am saying, sometimes we don't know whether we should go left or right. The Most High will be with you whether you go left or whether you go right when you don't know which one to take. He is with you, okay? So there's no need for you to just be so serious and so uptight that you just, no. You don't have to be so uptight. Relax, calm down, sip another cup of hot cocoa, relax. It's all good. The Most High's got you. He's got your back, okay? Well, as we continue and we look at verse number 15, we find something very important here. It says, behold, I am with you. I will keep you in all the places where you go, and I will bring you again into this land. Now, I want you to understand, in this, I see a dualistic journey. I see two different journeys. One is the way that Jacob would go. He says, I'm going to be with you, but there's going to come a time where he says, look, I'm going to bring you back to this land. Now, that's when the Most High is going to be like, look, now I need you to step this way. Okay? Now it's not about your way and where you want to go, but now it's about me leading you back to where I told you where I was going to take you. And he says, for I will not leave you until I have done all that I have spoken of. All praises to the Most High for that. Verse number 16, and Jacob waked out of his sleep. He awoke, got up and said, surely Yah is in this place. And I didn't even know it. I had no idea where I was. Now, I need to focus on that, and we need to deal with that. And because that is such a powerful point, I'm even going to take a break here for emphasis. Be right back, because this is such an important point. I need to encapsulate it with a break. Be right back. Well, what point is so important that I need to encapsulate it with a break? I'm so glad that you asked. And this is a point that's going to bring you closer into the idea of what the ancients thought and how the ancients thought about the Most High. I want you to notice what we read in verse number 17 and verse number 18, and then of course culminating with verse number 19. Let's dig in. Verse number 17 reads, and he was afraid and said, man, this place is dreadful. He said, look, this is none other but the house of Elohim, and this is the gate of heaven. Now, I need you to understand something here, brothers and sisters. When Yaakov said this, okay, I know in times past, if you're like me, you've read this and you said, he's really reacting to the dream. He is really reacting to, he is so amazed at this dream that he had until he's just like, man, the Most High spoke to me. Man, I'm so glad he spoke to me in this dream. But that's not all that Yaakov is saying. When you understand what begins in verse number 16 and culminates at verse number 19, it's something that is very serious and something that the ancients knew and still know today. He said, surely Yah is in this place. So the focus was the fact that, he saw Yah, but this place became of major importance, and it follows all the way through to verse number 19. He says, I didn't even know it. In other words, when he says, I didn't even know it, well, think about it for a second. He just had a dream. Of course, you're not going to know what's not going to be, you're not going to know what's in your dream, right? Until you dream it. So he's not talking about that. What he's talking about is the fact that I was in this land and I didn't even know that this is a significant place. This is a place of importance when it comes to spirituality and in the spirit. This is a spiritual place. This is what he's intimating. And now verse number 17, he says, how dreadful is this place? He's pointing to the place, and the place having a significance when it comes to the presence of the Most High. Now, let me stop. Let me back up. I'm not saying that the Most High cannot manifest himself unless he is in a certain place. But keep in mind what we've already discovered. We discovered that the Most High will write his name or establish his presence in places, with people, and also with things. But this happens to be a place where Yaakov recognizes that the Most High is basically, this is like he felt like it was a portal between heaven and earth. And with that being the case, he said, man, this place is dreadful, in verse number 17. And he says, this is none other but the house of Elohim. And not only that, since I recognize this to be a portal between heaven and earth, this is the gate of heaven. This is the very gate of heaven. And Yaakov rose up early in the morning and took the stone that he had put for his pillow. Now, keep in mind in verse number 17 and verse number 16, when he awoke, immediately after that dream in the night, he is saying this and he's expressing this. But notice what it reads in verse number 18. When he wakes up in the morning, he takes the stone that he had put for his pillows and he set up for a pillar and poured oil upon the top of it. Now, please keep in mind, okay, when it says that that this was set up for a pillar, what it's intimating is that this was a mastava. This was a monument that Yaakov placed to memorialize the presence of the Most High. This is like a sacrificial altar, so to speak, in that it is a holy marker, if you will. It is a holy marker. It signifies that the Most High has moved here. The presence of the Most High was definitely here. And this is what the ancients did. They built altars and they built mastavas to point to the Most High doing something. And now notice how important that is, so that when your ancestors come upon, when your children and your children's children come upon the memorial that you have put up, that you've made, concerning what the Most High has done for you, it will become a family tradition. This is the place. This is the place where your great-great-grandmama heard from the, and put our family on this trajectory. This trajectory that now has us right where we are. I mean, I love the ancients. I love how the Most High moved with them, and we could learn a lot from them if we would only do the same thing. Okay, so this then becomes a place, okay, of significance in the eyes of Yaakov. And notice what it reads, that he woke up early in the morning and he made a mastava, he made a pillar, okay, and he called the name of the place, verse number 19, he called the name of the place Bethel, house of El, house of God. But the name of the city was called Luz, or almond trees before. It was called Luz, okay, at first, but because of this experience, it became known to the Yahudi as Bethel because of the experience that Yaakov had. Now the name changes based upon this divine encounter, this divine meeting, and this experience that Yaakov had. It changes the name of the place. Now there is a monument to this happening, and now all of Jacob's descendants will look at that and they'll recognize it, and it will become a part of their tradition forever. I love that. Well, let's continue as we now take verse number 20, because, by the way, I will point out to you, I got to do this before I go and we go into other places here. When it reads here, surely the Lord is in this place and I knew it not. When you look at this in the Hebrew, okay, where he says, surely the Lord was in this place and I knew it not. Okay, notice what it says here. It says, again, behold, like, oh man, like OMG. Now, this construction is very telling in the Hebrew. Yesh ya'o b'makom hazeh. I want you to see this. Okay, because looking at this in the English, you don't get this. You don't get the same thing. Surely the Lord is in this place. Well, okay, that's in English, but in Hebrew, it comes out very differently. And it says, there is Yah in this place. Okay, this comes after in place, in the place. So really this is in the place this, but I need to point this out to you. If you say yesh lecha, what you're saying is there is to you, or you have. Okay, that's how you say it in Hebrew. Yesh lecha. You say there is to you, or yesh lehem, or they have. There is to them. The reason why this is important is because this construction in the Hebrew, it says yesh ya'o b'makom hazeh. Yaakov was attributing the presence of the Most High being present because of the place. It's this place that brought the presence of the Most High. That is what Yaakov is intimating when he says, surely, the Lord was in this place, which says it goes back to the ancient understanding that there were geographical locations that were, I have no other better way of intimating this to you than by giving it to you in this way. Just like some people, thank you, I'll do it this way. Some people are ticklish, right? When you put your fingers in certain places or rub certain places, they're ticklish. They automatically start laughing, right? Those are places in the human body that are just more susceptible to a touch, and of course you have a heightened experience. It has been an ancient belief for those who have ever been involved in metaphysics, those who have ever listened to my beloved dear friend, peace be upon him, Dr. Delbert Blair, who I miss even to this day. People who listen to metaphysics on any level, that the earth also, maybe you've heard this, maybe you haven't, that the earth is actually like a body within itself, and there are sensitive places. May not have a funny bone or may not have a ticklish spot, but there are other places that are spiritually sensitive, okay, in this place, in this earthly realm. And because that is true, there are places that are more susceptible to spirituality. And so these places in ancient times were actually places where they built temples. It's where they sought to build a temple in these places that were more susceptible to spiritual interaction. Okay. And so Jacob says, you know what? I found me one of them places. And so he builds an altar, and he even sets up his mastaba, and he anoints it with oil in verse number 18. And then he names the place Bethel. And I need you to understand that now that this is a significant spiritual place, Yaakov says, you know what? I can lay down a vow right here. I can do a vow before the Most High. And Yaakov vowed and said, if Elohim will be with me and will keep me in this way that I go, and will give me bread to eat and raiment to put on, so that I come again to my father's house in peace, then shall Yah be my Elohim. Now, now let's talk about this. We got to talk about this. We got to talk about this. Why do we have to talk about this? Because it is covenant language. Okay, it is definitely covenant language. Okay, but it is language that is also somewhat doubtful. I want that to sink in. It's language that is also doubtful. What do you mean? Well, let's pay attention to what is being said here. Yaakov said, if God will be with me. Now, wait a minute. The Most High did promise to be with him, didn't he? I mean, we just read it, right? It was right there. He says, if God will be with me. Well, when you go into the Hebrew and you look at verse number 20, it says, if it will be that Elohim with me. So he puts the if first, and if it will be. So he is really doubtful as to whether this is going to come to pass, but it's still covenant language, because the Most High said, look, this is what I am going to do. Now, it's covenantal because the Most High is swearing because of Abraham, because of the promise that he made to Abraham, not because of the overwhelming faith of Isaac and Yaakov. They are simply recipients of the blessing. We find here the covenant language where Yaakov says, if Elohim will be with me, okay, and will keep me, and basically, hook me up and protect me, if he got my back so that I come again. And notice what he says here. Then shall Yah be my Elohim. So it's almost like he's holding out and saying, I need all this to happen first. I need proof that all this is going to happen. And then I'm going to claim him to be my Elohim. I need you to get out of your mind these romantic views that maybe the church has inlaid, maybe in your own mind you've thought about them, where faith has got to be, your faith has got to be so high and so heightened, your faith, and you just got to have faith in you have great faith, and by your faith. Listen, all of that faith garbage, it is exactly that. It's garbage. You can wipe it with toilet paper and flush it down the toilet. All of that faith stuff, and you got to believe and you got to have faith. Yaakov was like, look, I'm not sure that this is going to come to pass or not. If it does come to pass, then guess what? Hey, dude, you got me, okay? You got me, right? But until then, hey, I'm a hang back a little bit. I'm going to be loose with it. I mean, I'm going to let you do what you do, but hey, I need proof, right? I need proof. So we find that it's the exact opposite of what Christendom would make us to believe when it says, oh, you must have faith, which is why I did the fallacy of faith lesson, so that you all would understand that walking as a Hebrew is different than walking when you were a Christian or walking in a different way. Okay, the Most High does not mind you doing what Jacob did and saying, hey, I'm going to chill for a minute and I'm going to let you do what you do, and whatever is proven to me, that's how I'm going to walk, okay? The Most High had no problems because he was acting upon the covenant of Abraham and not upon the faith of Isaac and not upon the faith of Yaakov and not upon your faith, okay? So all this, I got to have great faith. No, you don't have to have great faith. All you have to do is walk in the covenant. Are you walking according to the laws, statutes, and the commandments of the Most High? Which is why Deuteronomy 28 becomes such an important, pivotal point for us as a people, because it's not about faith, but it's about your obedience to the covenant. Okay? Well, let me move on because we got a long way to go. And Yaakov vowed a vow and saying, if God will be with me, then I'll sign on the dotted line. Verse number 22, and this stone which I have set for a pillar shall be Elohim's house. This is going to be the mastava, or the image that represents the presence of the Most High. This is where I contacted the Most High. And so this image, this pillar, this mastava, this is that is going to signify the presence of the Most High. And if need be, I'll come here, touch this pillar, and it'll be a point of contact between me and the Most High. And of all that thou shalt give me, I will surely, in the Hebrew it says, I'm going to tenth you, okay? We would say it, well, we're going to give a tenth part of all of our produce to the Most High. But in the Hebrew it says, I'm going to tenth you, okay? So he's going to give a tithe. Chapter 29, verse 1. And Jacob went on his journey and came into the land of the people of the east. And he looked, and behold, a well in the field. And lo, there were 3 flocks of sheep lying by it. For out of that well they watered the flocks. And a great stone was upon the well's mouth. And there were all the flocks gathered together. And they rolled the stone from the well's mouth and watered the sheep, and put the stone again upon the well's mouth in its place. Look at verse number 4. And Jacob said unto them, my brethren, okay, dude, so where y'all coming from? They said, hey, we are of Haran. And they said, and Jacob said to them, hey, do y'all know Laban, son of Nahor? Y'all know what street he live on? And they said, we know him. And he said unto them, okay, is he good? Is he good? And they said, yeah, he's good. And by the way, his daughter's coming right now with the sheep. Okay. Now you're going to find out that this is significant where the daughter is coming with the sheep. Okay. Later on, we find, as we read, when Laban starts to do really well because of Yaakov, that the daughter's no longer going to be able to tend to the sheep, but the sons are going to get the sheep because they're going to multiply into so many because of Yaakov. But here at first, Rachel, okay, which is the younger daughter, was watching the sheep because the flock really wasn't all that big. But now we see that they said, hey, Rachel's coming, and man, dude, she fine, man. She's single too. She fine and she's single. And he said, lo, it's almost about like noon. You know, it's got to be around 12 o'clock. So it ain't time for the cattle to come in. It ain't time for nothing to happen. So why don't y'all go ahead and feed the sheep? And they said, we cannot until all the flocks be gathered together, until the stone be rolled away from the well. And so while he yet spake with them, Rachel came with her father's sheep. And I imagine Jacob's eyes was just watching Rachel as she came by with the sheep, because my boy was smitten. My boy was smitten hard. Look at it. Verse number 9 reads, and while he spake yet with them, Rachel came with her father's sheep, for she kept them. And it came to pass that when Jacob saw Rachel, when Jacob saw Rachel, the daughter of Laban, his mother's brother, and the sheep of Laban, his mother's brother, and Jacob went near. Jacob, look, that big heavy stone, Jacob was like, look, I know we need 5 dudes to do this, but hey, hey, I'm gonna do this by myself for you, girl, cause you're looking mighty fine. And he watered the flock of Laban, his mother's brother. And I imagine Rachel was just looking at him like, I can't believe dude is doing this. But he did. Jacob is watering all of her sheep himself, and sheep are thirsty, especially when they've been wandering for a while. Okay. And I need you to see this because my boy is struck for real. Look at verse number 11. And Yaakov kissed Rachel, couldn't help himself. Kissed Rachel. Now, this ain't no stalker stuff. This ain't no, this is old school love right here. And Yaakov kissed Rachel and lifted up his voice. Man, he couldn't help it, He kissed her. He's like, oh, man, this woman bad. Ooh. So Jacob lifts up his voice after he kisses Rachel. I don't know that he sounded exactly like that, right? But Jacob told Rachel, it says, look, we basically kind of kin, so you're gonna be seeing me. You're gonna be seeing me, girl. Jacob told her, he said, look, Jacob told Rachel that he was her father's brother. Now, again, this is communication, right? It simply means that you're the next of kin. And Jacob was actually older than Rachel. Okay, so you have to visit Africa, and you have to visit places where they have culture. Someone that is older, you would call them your uncle. Okay, or even your father, right? Like when I was there, they were calling me daddy. I'm talking about grown men, 40 years of age, hair on their daddy. It's just a matter of custom, And I'm sorry, but it was funny because one guy said, "Daddy, it's me, your son. I'm adopting you." He said, "I'm adopting you." So he said, look, I'm your father's brother, and I'm Rebecca's, your aunt Rebecca, I'm her son. And she ran and she told her daddy. And it came to pass that when Laban heard the tidings of Jacob, his sister's son, that he ran to him, that he embraced him, and he kissed him, and brought him to his house, and he told Laban all these things. And Laban said to him, man, dude, you fam, come on in, fam. Surely you are bone and my flesh. Come on in, fam. You good with me. And he abode with him in the space of a month. And Laban said to Yaakov in verse number 15, Laban said unto Yaakov, because you are my brother, look, we family, right? Look, dude, you working around here, I gotta pay you something. So look, tell me, what do you want your wages to be? Okay. And Laban had 2 daughters, and the name of the elder was Leah, and the name of the younger was Rachel. And Leah was tender-eyed. In other words, she was weak-eyed or cross-eyed. Now, some have said that to be weak-eyed was really being weak on the eye, that she must have been so ugly that you could only look at her just a little bit, you know. Others have said, no, she actually had weak eyes, and so she is kind of cross-eyed. Well, be that as it may, she's contrasted to her sister Rachel. Notice what it reads about her sister Rachel. But, see, Leah was tender-eyed, but Rachel, yeah, was beautiful and well-favored. And that tells you that Leah then was not beautiful, and that Leah was not well-favored. Now, listen, the latter part we're going to see actually is going to play a bigger role in everything that's about to take place. And it really deals with being favored. Leah, yeah, she looked like she looked, and you just got to go with what you got, right? You got to work it the best way you can. But not being favored really gets to Leah in just a little bit. And we're going to see as this battle begins. So we see here that Rachel was beautiful and well favored. Everybody liked Rachel. Ooh, Rachel fine. Ooh, Rachel this, Rachel that. Ooh, did you see what Rachel had on today? Ooh, that Rachel. Ooh, Rachel. And Jacob loved Rachel. And Jacob said, and I bet Leah said, yeah, of course. I mean, of course. Men always looking at Rachel. Oh, wait, no. She said, men always looking at Rachel. Men ain't never looking at me. Men don't ever look at me. Men always looking at Rachel. So she was probably in her chest about this. And Laban said, look. What you want your wages to be, Jacob? Okay. Jacob said, dude, I'm in love with Rachel, man. I gotta love Jones. I gotta love. Okay, maybe he didn't sing that, but he said, I will serve these 7. Look, dude, here is the verbal contract. I will serve you 7 years, dude. And by the way, it wasn't Laban that gave this price. It was Jacob. Jacob was the one that said 7 years. Okay, because Jacob knew that he couldn't pay a bride price. So he said, look, dude, 7 years. I will serve you 7 years for Rachel, thy younger daughter. Laban said, oh, you got it. Okay. It is better that I give her to you than I should give her to another man. Abide with me. So Jacob was like, yes. Laban was like, yes. This is very well. This is very good. Very good. 7 years. Yes. Laban had already had it in his mind what he was going to do. And here is more trickery at play that comes by means of family. Jacob, verse number 20, Jacob served 7 years for Rachel, and they seemed to him but few days, for he loved Rachel. Loved him some Rachel, boy. Seeing her walking around there in them tight jeans, boy, he was like, man, I love me some Rachel. And Jacob said unto Laban, dude, give me my woman. I'm as ready. For give me my woman now. For my days are fulfilled, that I may go in on. Jacob had stuff on his mind. Look at this. Jacob had something on his mind. He said, you give me my woman now, that I may go in unto her. I guess if they had that song back then, Jacob would have been playing, I've been feeling fine, babe. Do. Hold back the feeling. But Jacob was like, give me her now that I may go in unto her. Verse 22. And look at Laban. Look at Laban. Okay. Look at the world and the family and the world. And Laban gathered together all the men of the place and said, yeah, I got something that we're going to pull over his eyes. Okay, and Laban made a feast together with all the men of the place, and it came to pass in the evening that he took Leah his daughter and said, look, girl, don't you say nothing. Don't you say nothing at all. You just go along with this. You better shut your mouth, and if you say anything, you better sound like Rachel. You better sound like Rachel. Better do your best. And they brought him to her, and he went in unto her. Now, what you don't see here is, in parentheses, there must have been liquor involved, in the parentheses. And how do you know that? Because the classic story comes into play here. Verse number 24, and Laban gave unto his daughter Leah Zilpah as a handmaid. Okay. Look at what it says in verse 25. And it came to pass that in the morning, behold, it was Leah. Dun, dun, dun. It was Leah. Dude woke up after drinking. She had that veil on. And behold, all the time when he was singing Isley Brothers songs and when he was singing Marvin Gaye songs, it was Leah all the time. And he woke up and there she is with her cross-eyed self. Oh, baby, man, that was so good last night. Oh, you did so wonderful. He was like, man, Jacob got up, and Jacob was like, look. And he said to Laban, dude, why you do me like this, man? This is crazy. I know Jacob was reaching for his pistol right here. Jacob reaching for his pistol. Man, why you do me like this? Didn't I serve you for Rachel? Okay. Wherefore have you beguiled me? Dude, you just straight up lied to me and tricked me. And in this is interesting because here the trickster gets tricked. The one who's always doing the scheming gets schemed. Now we could say that what goes around comes around. It definitely does. This is definitely a portrait of that. You will always meet someone that's better at the game than you. You will always come in, whatever your thing is, you will meet somebody that's better at that than you, and you will be dealt with the way that you dealt with others. And now at this particular point, Laban got over on Yaakov. Laban got over on Jacob. And so now Jacob is man, his head is spinning like, man, this dude got me messed up. You know, they say it a different way today. I won't say that here, but no, this dude got me messed up. Right? But notice here that the will of the Most High is still being done. Excuse me. Here we go. Verse number 27. Verse number 27. Verse number 26. Notice what Laban says. And Laban said, it must not be done so in our country. See, we do things differently over here. You know, we can't give the younger before the firstborn. We got to let the firstborn go first. So, dude, that's why that's why I had to give you Leah. I had to give you my cross-eyed daughter first. Well, you take a look and we see verse number 27. What does verse number 27 read? Laban says, fulfill her week. Laban says, fulfill her week. In other words, dude, do another 7 years, man. You did that first one like it wasn't nothing. And meanwhile, Laban is like, dude, I done prospered so much by that first 7 years. I saw this one coming. I knew I was going to put Leah in your bed, dude, and you was going to serve me for another 7. Because, man, I am bouncing with the bucks, dude. You are blessing me, and I'm getting another 7 years out your behind. So that's exactly what happened. Laban says, fulfill her week, and we will give thee also for thy service, which thou served me, another 7 years. Okay? And notice what it reads here. Listen, a lot goes on in just these 2 verses. And Jacob did so. In other words, in between verse number 27 and verse number 28 is 7 years of labor and 7 years of productivity that Jacob gave Laban. And so he fulfilled her week, and he gave him Rachel also, daughter, to be his wife. But now, Jacob was like, hey, I love Rachel, so yeah, so I'm still good. Okay? But we noticed something here. And he went in, let me back up. And Jacob so fulfilled her week, right? Gave him to be wife also, but no, verse number 29. And Laban gave Rachel his daughter, Bilhah, as his handmaid to be her maid. Again, all this is going to really come into play. All of it is going to really unfold here. And notice what it reads. And he went in also unto Rachel, and he loved also Rachel more than Leah. So he did start to love Leah. It's just that he loved Rachel more, right? And served with him yet 7 other years. And when Yah saw that Leah was hated, okay, he opened her womb, but Rachel was barren. Now, all of this is taking place on purpose. All of this is happening on purpose. And you can understand why. Because at the end of the day, what's going to come out of this? You are going to have the beginnings of the 12 tribes of Israel. What is it that began the 12 tribes of Israel? The 12 tribes of Israel come into play. They come into being in this incubator, in this crucible of family dynamic where families are tricking each other, playing each other, but out and jealous of each other. Because listen, the fact that Leah is cross-eyed, if not, she's not cross-eyed, then she's got to be boogle wolf ugly. Okay, whichever one she is, there is animosity between Leah and Rachel, to where Leah feels like I'm not being favored, I'm not being recognized, they don't see me, they don't, no one knows who I really am, I got a big heart, I'm this, I'm that, and ain't nobody seeing me, everybody's looking at Rachel because she's beautiful on the outside, and so forth and so on. But Leah had heart, and Leah said, look, let me give to my husband these kids so that he will, maybe he will love me. And we're going to read all that. But out of this dynamic going back and forth, well, I'm a give her Bilhah, and Bilhah gonna have some children too. And so Leah has children, and so you got all of this going back and forth. And what's really happening is the will of the Most High is being done. And in the present moment, it seems like Rachel is upset with Leah. Leah is upset with Rachel, and they're having a baby battle. They're battling with the babies. Rachel is giving her handmaid to Jacob, and poor Jacob, he just caught in the middle of this, getting all these women thrown at him. He got Leah that needs attention all the time, and then he's got her handmaid that needs attention all the time, and then he's got Rachel that needs his attention, and then now he's got Rachel's handmaid that now he just gotta, that poor man, he just gotta have babies by all these women just to satisfy these women. And I tell you, that poor Jacob. But as we pay attention to the text here, okay, when Yah saw that Leah was hated, verse number 31, he opened up her room, okay, and so Rachel had Reuben, right? And she said, you know what, now my husband will love me because he's going to see, and now he's going to recognize me. That's really what Reuben entails. He's going to recognize me because Yah has looked upon my affliction, and he's going to really recognize me and see me for who I am, and he's going to love me. Well, she again conceived, and she had Simeon, right? She had Simeon, okay, because she says, you know what? Yah has heard, right? So Shema on is really, we say Simeon, but it's Shema, like here, Shema It's Shima'on. And so, yeah, heard, listened, all right, he understood, and then she conceived again. So Jacob is going to town here. He's having baby after baby with his woman. Leah is fertile myrtle, okay? Difference in Rachel. I mean, Leah's like, look, I got heart, I'm fertile myrtle. I mean, what's the deal? So she finally has Levi, and she conceived again and bare a son, and she said, now I will praise Yah. And so guess what? She has a son, names him Judah, or Judah, okay? Verse 1 of chapter 30. And when Rachel saw that she bare Jacob no children, she envied her sister. All of this, out of all of this, the plans of the Most High are being fulfilled. Rachel is now upset. She envies her sister. So what does she do? So then she's like, hey, I need some children. Jacob like, dude, I can't open up your womb. I can't open up your, the Most High's got to give you kids. That's what I'm trying to say, woman. I can't give you no kid. So then, she said, look, Bilhah, look, go on in there to Bilhah, and I'm going to have a child on her knees. And so poor Jacob has to go on in there to Bilhah. Oh my goodness, this is just an atrocity. Jacob has to go into Bilhah, and now he's just, making sure that he makes a baby with Bilhah, and just, oh my goodness. Poor Jacob. And he goes in unto her just to please his wife. He goes in unto Bilhah. And then, Bilhah became a wife unto Jacob, and she conceived and bare a son. Right? And so while she's having the baby, she is actually on the knees of Rachel. Okay? In the ancient culture, if the woman's having the baby, as she is reclined back on the lap and the knees of the woman, it's considered to be that woman's baby, especially if that woman is her handmaid. So here we have where Dan is born, Naphtali is born, Gad is born, Asher is born, all of them are born. And we find here that really out of all of this, the will of the Most High is being done. What looks like a battle between Leah and Rachel, where Leah throws in Bilhah and Bilhah throws in Zilpah. And Leah throws in Zilpah and Rachel throws in Bilhah, and together between the four of them in this baby battle, you end up getting 12 sons, which are the 12 tribes of Israel. In the moment, it seemed like Rachel don't like Leah, Leah don't like Rachel. They're battling it out, but all of this is happening for a reason. Okay? It's to bring about the 12 tribes. And now we find in verse number we find out just how serious this is, because all the sons aren't born yet, okay? But we do get to something that's interesting, okay? So let me continue. And Reuben, verse number 14, okay? By the way, Leah has Asher, right? Because she says, I'm happy, I'm blessed, I'm good, can't touch me, maybe she's doing that dance, like MC Hammer, can't touch this, dun, 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 dun. She's happy, she's rejoicing, she's dancing. Verse number 14, and Reuben went out in the days of his wheat harvest. By now, Reuben has to be from 7 to 10 years old, and he finds some mandrakes in the field. And he brought them unto his mother Leah, right? And Rachel said, hey, give me the mandrakes. I want your sons. Tell that boy to give me the mandrakes. And she said to her, look, dude, is it a small thing that you done took my husband? You done took my husband from me. And now you want to take my son's mandrakes? I'm like, dude, are you serious? Are you serious right now? You done took my husband, and now you want to take his mandrakes too that my son found in the field? Well, the reason why the mandrakes were so important was because mandrakes, which are actually poisonous, mandrakes were considered to be an aphrodisiac, okay? And in this battle of the babies, if there was any help that was to be gotten, they probably figured, we could use some help to win this battle because it's a baby battle. So Leah says, no, I ain't giving you nothing. These mandrakes are coming with me because they were an aphrodisiac. And so notice here what Rachel ends up saying, okay? when she says, no, I ain't giving you no, I wish I would give you these mandrakes, in verse number 15. And Rachel said, therefore he shall lie with thee tonight for thy son's mandrakes, because they were considered to be, to make people even, I mean, there's a lot of mythology and lore behind this where it makes you fertile. It's actually kind of poisonous like alcohol, and it makes you to hallucinate. It's a hallucinogen. It's also good for insomnia. It helps you sleep. So basically this is almost like a drug, like to get high and to be fertile off of, and to be ready to do the do, right? So then the mandrakes, which were considered to be an aphrodisiac, came into the house, and we see here that when Jacob was coming home, boy, Leah couldn't wait. Verse number 16, Leah comes out, okay, as Jacob was coming into the field. Leah went out and said, look, I don't care if you are thinking about going over to Rachel's tent. You ain't going over to Rachel's tent, right? And she said, thou must come in unto me, for surely I have hired thee with my son's mandrakes. I got these mandrakes, and you about to get in here, because I got these mandrakes, and you gonna get in here, and you gonna do what you supposed to do, because I got the mandrakes. And so what happened, he lay with her that night, evidently at work. He lay with her that night, and hey, the Most High heard Leah, and she conceived and bare another son, a fifth son by Leah, and called his name Issachar. Okay? And she said, my Elohim has given me my hire, okay, because I've given my maiden to my husband, and she called his name Issachar. Leah is actually thanking the Most High that she gave her handmaid to. Yeah, she's thanking the Most High that she gave her handmaiden to Jacob to also be a wife unto him. And man, this baby battle is on full effect here. So we look here, and Leah conceives again and bear a sixth son. And Leah said, man, I'm about to give him, I'm about to give him another boy. And so calls his name Zebulun. And afterwards, she bare a daughter and called her name Dinah. Okay. And apparently Dinah was a good-looking girl, because you don't see where she was weak-eyed, right? Verse number 22, and God remembered Rachel, and hearkened unto her, and opened her womb, and she conceived, and she bare Yosef. And Yah shall add unto me another son. Yosef means to add unto, okay? Moving right along, and it came to pass that when Rachel had born Joseph, Yaakov said unto Laban, dude, I'm gone. I'm done. I want to get out of here. Send me away. Let me go, right? Let me go to my own place, to my own country. He got fed up, and he was ready to go. Verse 26, give me my wives, dude. I'm out. I'm done. Stick a fork in me. I'm done. Okay? For whom I have served, let me go. I'm done. Look at verse 27. And Laban said unto him, I pray thee, if I found favor in your eyes, tarry. Look, dude, don't go right now. You can't go now, man. The getting is good. We doing good. For I have learned by experience that Yah hath blessed me for your sake. Okay, so he has the memo. Laban has the memo. The Most High has blessed me for your sake. So, dude, I don't want you to go right now. I need you to stick around. Verse number 28. And he said, look, dude, appoint me wages, and I will give it. So now Laban's trying to make a deal. He's trying to make another contract with him. And he's saying, hey, whatever you want, tell me what you want your wages to be, right? And I'll give it to you. And he said unto me, look, you know I've served you and your cattle, been with your cattle, for it was little which you had before I came. That's why Rachel was watching your flock, right? Because one little girl could take care of your flock. You didn't have much. But now the men have to do it, and it is now increased into a multitude, and Yah hath blessed you since my coming. We bring blessing. When we're in the midst, we bring blessing. And that's why many people want us to work for them, because we bring the blessings, right? And now, hey, I need to provide for myself. I need to provide for my own household, okay? And Laban said, so dude, all right, I hear you. I got you. So what do you want me to give you? Like, what do you want your wages to be, man? Okay, I got you. And Jacob said, look, I ain't asking you to give me anything, right? But I'm going to continue keeping your flock, and whatever comes out brown or speckled, dude, that is exactly what's going to be mine. You can keep all the light ones, all the perfect ones. You just give me the brown and the speckled ones, and that's, we going to be good, right? And Laban said, behold, I would it might be according to your word. In other words, hey, that's a great idea. I'm all for it, okay? And notice what it reads here, verse 34, verse 35. And he removed that day the he-goats that were ring-straighted and spotted, and all the she-goats that were speckled and spotted, and every one that had some white in it, and all the brown among the sheep, and gave them into the hand of his sons. So Laban was still working tricks. He took some of those that were spotted, and he gave them to his sons. And he said a 3 days journey between him and Jacob. Okay. So Laban is still trying to work tricks. So when I get back, I'm going to take another quick little break. When I get back, we're going to see the culmination of our Torah portion. And we will be back in just a second.
Makes you laugh.
All right, so here we are. We're right back. Let's go ahead and get into it. We're headed down the home stretch. And I want you to see what develops here as we continue. We're at verse number 37. And so Jacob took rods of green poplar and of hazel and chestnut tree, and he pulled off the white strakes. In other words, he stripped them and made the white appear, which was in the rods. And he set the rods, which he had peeled before the flocks, because he wanted to get that in their mind, in their sight. And so when they conceived, now we understand that this is by means of genetics. Genetics has a lot to do with this, but he's trying to get in the sight of the cattle, these spots, right? He's trying to put this in their mind, that they see nothing but spots when they, spots on the brain, so that when they conceive, they will bring about speckled babies, right? Speckled lambs. And Jacob did separate them, right? And so as we continue, Jacob is also doing his little tricks, because now what Jacob's doing is he's taking all the weak little lambs, he's giving those to Laban, but all the ones that are, strong and brown, he's keeping them for himself. Now look at chapter 31 and verse 1. And he heard the words of Laban's son, saying, Jacob hath taken away all that was our father's, okay, and of that which was our father's hath he gotten all this glory. So now Jacob is coming up, right? Jacob is coming up. And notice what it reads here. It says, and Jacob beheld the countenance of Laban. And dude, like I said, when it comes to money, people get funny. So now Laban is not looking like he was before, because one, Laban's tricks did not work, okay? Now Laban, the trickster, gets tricked. And so now we have one hand serving the other. And so Yah said now to Jacob, dude, now it's time for you to get out of Dodge. Okay, return to your land, go back home, right, to your father's house. Dude, get out of here. Now it's time for you to go. And Jacob sent and called Rachel and Leah to the field unto his flock and said, pack, it's time to get out of here. He said, look, your daddy ain't even looking at me the same way. It's time for us to get out of Dodge. And so he says, you know what? It's time for us to go. Okay. He says that, my Elohim has been with me. Okay. The God of my father has been with me. Okay. I ain't calling him my God yet, but I'm going to say the God of my father has been with me. And notice what he says in verse 6, and ye know that with all my power I have served your father. So Jacob was serving with integrity, okay, which is necessary. You serve with integrity, right? And the will of the Most High is done no matter which way you go. And you know that with all my power I've served your father, and your father have deceived me and changed my wages 10 times. Dude has been double dog dirty. He done changed my wages 10 times. But the Most High suffered him not to hurt me. If he said this, the speckled shall be thy wages, then the cattle started being speckled. Okay? I can't help that. I'm blessed. It's time for us to go. Now look at verse number 11. And the Malach Elohim, the angel of God, spake unto me in a dream, saying, Jacob. And I said, I'm right here, I'm right here. And he said, lift up now your eyes and see all the rams which leap upon the cattle, ring-straighted, speckled, and gristled. Listen, he said, hey, I did this for you. I'm blessing you. I am the God of Bethel. Now notice what the Most High is doing. Notice what the Most High is doing in verse number 13. Notice what he says to Jacob. Okay, listen, I need you all to understand this point. The Most High deals with you in truth, but he also deals with you in relationship to your perception and your revelation of him. This is so important. The Most High knew that Jacob had an experience at Bethel. It's in his mind, Bethel. The Mastava is at Bethel. He anointed with oil at Bethel. He saw the angels ascending and descending at Bethel. The Most High spoke to him at Bethel. So Bethel is in his mind. Verse number 13, the Most High introduces himself to Yaakov. He says, I am the Elohim of Bethel, where you anointed the pillar, and where you vowed a vow unto me. Now arise, get up out of Dodge, return to the land of your kindred. And Rachel and Leah answered and said unto him, is there yet any portion or inheritance for us in our father's house? Dude, we are out. Hey, there's nothing for us here. We are out of here. Verse 15, are we not counted to him of strangers? You see how Laban is? Man, Laban is one of those people that's just, it's nothing but business. I don't care who you are. It's nothing but business. You my children, I'll treat you like a stranger when it comes to making that money. And so that's the way Laban is. They say, are we not counted to him of strangers? In other words, he thinks of us as strangers, right? For he hath sold us and hath devoured all our money. In other words, he sold us and then took all the, we ain't even got nothing for him selling us. For all the riches which Elohim hath taken of our father, that is ours and our children's now, then whatsoever God hath said unto thee, let's do it. In other words, high fives for everyone. We're out of here, okay? Then Jacob rose up and set his sons and his wives upon camels, and he carried away all his cattle, all his goods which he had gotten, the cattle and everything that he'd gotten in Padan Aram, right, for to go to Isaac, his father, in the land of Canaan. And Laban went to shear his sheep, and Rachel had stolen the images, okay, had stolen the images. What do you mean stolen the images? Well, Laban had idols, okay? Laban had idols. And the images are the teraphim that we see in other places in Scripture. Okay, they're little figurines that are meant to represent deities. Okay, teraphim. Okay, they were her father's, and basically Jacob stole them away. And Jacob stole away unawares to Laban to Syria. So in other words, he left real quick in the middle of the night and didn't tell Laban where he was going, because Laban was a trickster, right? So he's fled all and took all that he had and was gone. And it was told Laban on the third day that Jacob was gone. So he didn't know for 3 days. He did not know for 3 days that he was gone, right? And he took his brethren with him and pursued after them 7 days' journey. And they went and took him in the Mount of Gilead. In other words, they caught up to him in the Mount of Gilead. And Elohim came to Laban the Syrian, Laban the what? Laban the Syrian. Laban the what? Laban the Syrian, in a dream by night, and said unto him, take heed, watch yourself, okay? Don't you do nothing to Jacob. Then Laban overtook Jacob. Now Jacob had pitched his tent in the mountain. Laban with his brethren pitched in the Mount of Gilead. And Laban said to Jacob, dude, what have you done to me? What have you stolen from me? How dare you steal from me? I'm the one that usually steals from you. What are you doing here? Okay, and why you sneak away? And why are you doing all this, right? Okay. Wherefore you did flee away secretly, and you stole from me. You took stuff from me. How dare you do this to me, right? And if you had to let me know you was going, we would have had a party for you. In verse number 27, lying through his teeth, he would not have let Jacob go. Laban was not that kind. Laban did not want to let Jacob go. Okay. And he said, man, you did this to me, man. This is crazy. Okay. But notice what we read here in verse number 29. It is in the power of my hand to do you hurt, but the God of your father spake unto me yesternight and said, don't you dare harm a head of that boy's head. I'll deal with you in the dealing way if you do. Verse number 30, and now, though thou wouldest needs be gone, because thou sore longest after thy father's house, yet wherefore hast thou stolen my gods? The main thing I got against you is you have stolen my gods. Look at verse number 31. And Yaakov answered and said to Laban, because I was afraid, for I said, peradventure, dude is going to do me wrong again, right? Okay. Now, verse number 34, now Rachel had taken the images and put them in the camel's furniture and sat upon them. And Laban searched all the tent, and he found them not. He found them not. And she said to her father, let it not displease my lord that I cannot rise up before thee, for the custom of women is upon me. You know, it's my time of the month, Daddy, and I'm sorry that I can't get up and greet you, that, you know, like I would normally do. But it's that time of the month for me, so I can't get up. But meanwhile, the images were there upon the furniture that she was laying on, I should say. And Jacob was upset with her, right? Jacob was upset, wroth, right? And he said, dude, why you coming at us like this, man? Get up out of here. We ain't got nothing of yours, man. Bounce. Everything I got is good. Whereas thou hast searched all my stuff, man, you rambling all through my goods. Okay? I'm a grown man. I ain't take your stuff, right? It says, this 20 years have I been with thee. I've been with you for 20 years, dude. I ain't never stole nothing from you. I ain't never done nothing, dude. You need to bounce up off me. Fall up off me. Go your way, because I have not done anything to you, okay? So we notice here what happens, okay? Laban answers unto Jacob. It says, these daughters, these daughters, they're my daughters, and your sons, they my sons, man. These are my people too. Now therefore come and let us make a covenant. Okay, and here comes a very famous passage that's coming right up. Okay, Jacob took a stone and set up a pillar. We notice that once again, this is the culture of the day, and this is how they established covenant, with a pillar, with the stone, right? And Jacob said unto his brethren, gather stones, and they took up stones, made a heap, made a mastava. And Laban called it Jegar Sahadutha, but Jacob called it Galid. And Laban said, this heap is a witness between me and thee. Therefore was the name of it called Galid, for witness. And Mizpah, for he said, Yah watch between me and thee. This is the famous saying, may the Lord watch between me and thee while we're absent from one another. They get this from Laban and Jacob, okay? When they do that in benedictions, may the Lord watch between me and thee while we are absent from one another. It came from Laban and it came from Jacob, because they were like, look, dude want to do me harm. So no one would cross past that image to do the other one harm. That's what this is all about. If you will afflict my daughters and do them wrong, man, okay, may the Most High watch, because you going to get it if you do. And Laban said to Jacob, behold this heap and behold this pillar, which I have cast this day betwixt me and you. Verse number 52. This heap be a witness, and this pillar is a witness. that I shall not pass over it to do you any wrong, and you're not going to do me any harm. Verse 53, the God of Abraham, the God of Nahor, and the God of their father judge betwixt us. And Jacob sware by the fear of his father Isaac. Notice the difference here. Laban said, the God of Abraham, the God of Nahor, the God of their father judge between us. So Laban is pulling on different deities here, and Jacob is pulling upon the God of his father Isaac. Okay? So what Laban knows is of old school when Abraham was worshiping under his father's house, because he attributes the God of Abraham to the God of Nahor, right? So Laban is thinking old school. Jacob is with what's going on right now, and he's saying, hey, by the God of my father Isaac. Okay, verse 54, then Jacob offered sacrifice upon the mount and called his brethren to come and to eat bread. And they did eat and tarried all night on the mount. And early in the morning, Laban rose up and kissed his sons and his daughters and blessed them. And Laban departed and returned to his place. And Yaakov went on his way. And the angels of Elohim met him. And when Yaakov saw them, he said, this is God's host. This is the host of Elohim. And he called the name of the place Mahanaim. Mahanaim. And verse number 3, the last verse is, and Jacob sent messengers before him to Esau his brother unto the land of Seir, the country of Edom. We will pick up here, Yah willing, next week for the Torah portion. May the Most High add a blessing to the reading and the understanding of his word. We'll be right back. Well, now we're going to open it up for questions. Before we go into our other segments, we want to open it up for questions on this Torah portion. So I'm going to the chat room. The call-in line is open. Let's see if there are any questions regarding this Torah portion. We're going to give it just a little bit of time. If you have a question, it should be made known with a great quickness. And hey, Miss H says this might be the funniest breakdown of this Torah portion I've ever heard. I'm over here cracking up. Well, peace and blessings to you, my dear sister. You know, I'm enjoying it because it's a portrait of family. It's how family deals with family, but it's also a portrait of how the Most High uses even the problems within our families to still get his work done. Bless you, Elder. You said, our Elder Christine Croning says, praise Yah, this was such an awesome Torah portion. Well, thank you for that. Thank you. Since there are no questions, what I'm going to do is, hey, we're going to go right ahead into our next portion, our next segments, when I return.
From the nation life.
shocking double lives, these scandals shook entire congregations and left millions questioning their faith leaders. And trust me, by the time you hear about the pastor exposed live by his own secret partner, you'll realize this list is nothing short of jaw-dropping. This is 10 shocking black pastors' cheating scandals you were never supposed to hear about. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the
Just get on with it.
9. The bishop, as he's known, married his wife Allison Matthews, and the couple has 4 children together.
4.
Fred Matthews was known to preach against the LGBTQ community, even
4
though
children.
he was secretly involved with another person of the same.
I'm tired of even fake church. Tell somebody I'm tired of fake church.
Yeah, I'm tired of fake church. I'm tired of fake people.
I'm tired of fake praisers. I'm tired of fake worshipers. I'm tired of the people that pray.
In June 2025, OnlyFans creator Jarock Walker exposed the pastor's secret on his live broadcast after finding out who he really is. Jarock stated on the broadcast that he was disgusted to find out the man he had been lying with was living a double life and felt the need to bring it to the open.
So he said the man that he had been lying with, they're not talking about telling fibs, okay? We're talking about the other kind of lying, okay? The kind of lying that you're not supposed to do when a man lies with a woman. That kind of lying, okay? The same pastor that was talking about, I'm tired of fake, preachers and fake praise, and here he is.
Occasions has been by me. I never met this man ever outside of me him the 3 times that I did. I never knew this man was a pastor.
Since then, he had granted multiple interviews to explain how the bishop managed to deceive him and everything else that transpired between them.
The bishop!
Jarock, who claimed to be a Christian, said he attended a church known as Love Center South. However, he opted to live stream church services on this day since he didn't attend church.
Videos. And when it's time for the pastor at this church to preach, it just so happened to be Fred, whatever his name is,
He said he got a link to a live stream from a friend and was shocked to see the same man he had relations with preaching on the altar. According to him, Matthews used the name Ryan when they met on the gay app called Jacked. He said they had multiple meetups that the pastor paid for.
Him is Ryan. His Jack name on the gay app is Ryan. His name saved in my phone is Ryan Jack. Things like that. So I kind of...
Was this a paid transaction, or this is something that y'all both wanted to do?
From day one.
How much you paid?
It's different prices each time.
Jarock said he came out with the news after realizing the pastor had a wife and children. He also revealed that Matthews sent a third party to him, trying to make him take down the news because his wife was struggling with the revelation.
I guess she was struggling with the revelation. Of course she is struggling with the revelation.
Up next is a pastor whose affairs came to light as a result of his own confession. Number 9, Pastor Joshua Iginla. Joshua Iginla is not your average pastor. He is a senior pastor of a mega church seating 80,000 people in Abuja.
Fake. All of them acting like they feel in the Spirit of God. Just fake.
The capital of Nigeria. Some members of the church, known as Champions Royal Assembly, regard him as a prophet. He is also a televangelist and one of Nigeria's prominent prosperity gospelers.
Fitness across. Because that's part of our battle in life. There's no man of God at my level who wants to pray, to go through trial.
Joshua Iginla stood on the pulpit every Sunday, teaching the Bible. But unknown to his church members and online followers, Pastor Iginla was secretly battling with everything he preached against. He was moving far and far away from the salvation he preached. The pastor struggled with staying faithful in his marriage.
I'm sorry, but if you're wearing a suit like that, I would question. I'm sorry, I would have questions. If you wearing a suit like that.
And lust was the order of the day for the clergyman.
I have to talk because I hardly sleep.
There is no man of God on my level. I am the...
My blood pressure is going up and I don't want to leave this world before my time. And I know you
By the time the word came out, it had already lasted 7 good years, and the world was coming to know about it courtesy of a confession from the man himself. In 2019, he shocked everyone when he confessed to the congregation during one of the church's services.
It's so painful that when men of God go through strike, you are quick to throw the stone, abuse them, say all sorts of insults to them. It's good.
He started by revealing that the former couple got married after conducting tests that made them believe their genotypes were compatible. However, their first child had sickle cell anemia, and they later discovered that they both had AS genotypes.
And the Lord, we met, and we had a wonderful marriage. And before we started by checking our genotype. She was AA, I was AS.
He revealed that his wife, Yemisi, slept with someone else and brought another man's child into their marriage.
Eventually, he brought an unholy child into the matrimony, which became a pill for me to chew. I'm not wanting you to judge my wife or judge.
While he covered
So she cheated, so I cheated, so there.
it up to prevent escalation, he also explored relationships with another woman, through which another child was born. He said their struggles began after his wife.
Okay. All right, let me just move on.
Found out, and that he vowed to end the marriage whenever he revealed the news to outsiders.
If we cannot solve it, I'll come to the wall, I'll confess my sin to the wall, receive the insult, and end the marriage.
So at least he told off on himself. Now that I will say, at least he told off on himself. I have to give him at least a point for that, right? If a man will confess, I have more respect for a man that'll come clean than a man that is playing games, really.
And that's what I'm doing today.
Yemisi denied having an affair outside marriage and challenged the pastor to carry out DNA tests on their 3 children.
You should come up and do the genotype of my children. Come up and do the genotype of my children. The 3 children are here.
The couple had since gone through a divorce, and
So basically he lied and said, well, according to, okay, he's being accused of saying that the wife had a affair, then he divorces her and says, well, now I got to marry somebody else.
Yemisi attributes it to the pastor's cheating with a South African pastor named Stella. Pastor Iginla is currently married to his second wife, Stella. But how did the pastor who kept blaming the wife?
Hey, what were you doing down there? Hey, wait a minute, hold on now.
And do the genotype of my children. Come up and do the genotype of my children. The 3 children are here.
The couple had since gone through a divorce, and Yemisi attributes it to the pastor's cheating with a South African pastor named Stella. Pastor Iginla is currently married to his second wife, Stella, but
Okay.
how about a pastor who kept blaming the wife, even though his cheating was out in the open?
Have y'all ever seen a suit like that? Hold on. I've never seen a suit like this. I have to comment. Excuse me.
Is currently married to his second wife, Stella.
And even that suit has like a buckle on it. I mean, I will say this. In Africa, they have lots of style. They have style for days. They got style that we don't even mess with.
But how about a pastor who kept
Hey,
blaming
get
the
up from
wife,
there.
even
Get up.
though his
That's what I'm talking about. You see that suit? I have never seen a suit like that in my life.
cheating was out in the open? Number 8, Dietrich Haddon.
The pandemic, and I was a part of that, but I chose not to be a part of the reunion because
Musician and songwriter Dietrich Vaughn. Haddon may be known for infusing contemporary styles into his gospel music, but the American gospel singer is also a pastor, having started preaching in 2009. Dietrich kick-started his gospel music career in 2002 with the release of his music Lost and Found. He followed it with hit tracks like Sinner's Prayer, Crossroads, and God is Good, the singer quickly became a massive force to reckon with, his music topping Billboard's top gospel charts. Early on, it became evident that the singer was willing to do things differently with not only his music style, but also the marketing efforts. His songs incorporated contemporary elements, and he promoted them using channels not originally employed by gospel artists. Fair to say, Dietrich was a breath of fresh air on the gospel music scene. As for preaching, he started at a church founded by his father, the Kingdom Culture Church. He did so with his first wife, Damita Chandler, whom he married in 1996. Their marriage lasted for 15 years before their messy divorce in 2011. While married to Damita, the couple went through rocky times due to infidelity from each party.
In my
Man, both of them.
past relationship, but there were some good moments and we had some good times. You know, unfortunately, the bad times outweighed the good.
2 years after the divorce, Dietrich went to Facebook to reveal what had happened. He accused fellow gospel artiste Isaac Carey of cheating with his wife, calling it the reason for their divorce. Carey denied the allegations. Damita said he blamed others despite being the wrong one. She was referring to Dietrich's admission to getting her current wife pregnant while their divorce proceedings were still in progress.
Because somebody decides for their performance to be some demonic performance, whatever. And for you to get up and walk out, to me, it's a sign.
Dietrich is currently married to Dominique Haddon. They are the founders and pastors of Hill City Church in Los Angeles. In 2013, fresh controversy started when his former mistress released pictures of the celebrity pastor. The damning images showed a completely Dietrich, exposing parts of his body that only his wife should have access to.
See, something is wrong. Something is wrong. I'm just going to say this. I believe that in marriage, the bed is undefiled. Definitely. Hands down. Right. But when you're putting naked pictures of your former husband out there, man, that's just too messy for me. That's too sloppy. I mean, I think that's wrong. I think it's plainly wrong. And you know what? I'm not even going to entertain this anymore because all of this is just crazy. Hi, I'm Melchior Uriel, and I want to come to your church or to sit down with you, Pastor, and have a build where we discuss, open up scriptures, and discuss the realities behind the Hebrew way of life and following the laws. Please call the number below, and if unanswered, please leave a message. Thank you. Shalom.
From the nation live.
thing for the world to do. How you
The median white The median white family in America has nearly 6 times the wealth of the median black family. According to the Federal Reserve, the typical white household holds around $285,000 in net worth. The typical black household
About $45,000. That's not just a gap. That's a canyon. And here's what makes it heavier. This gap didn't happen by accident. It was engineered through policy, from redlining to GI Bill exclusions to lending discrimination. But here's the thing. The same math that built this divide, compound interest, asset ownership, leverage, can be used to close it. This isn't about blame. It's about tools. Today, I'm walking you through 7 money rules middle-class families of color were never taught, and how to use them to build real, generational wealth. Hey, I'm Brian. I spend way too much time thinking about wealth gaps, compounding math, and why some families seem to get ahead no matter what, while others work twice as hard and barely move the needle. Let's zoom out. Data from the Brookings Institution shows the racial wealth gap has actually widened in recent years by over $240,000 between the median white and black household since 2019. That's not a crack in the system. That's a structural fracture. The Federal Reserve also reports that only about 39% of black families own stocks, compared to roughly 66% of white families. That matters because the stock market has been one of the primary engines of wealth creation over the last 40 years. No stocks, no compounding. And according to the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, Black and Latino borrowers are more likely to receive higher cost loans, even when controlling for income. Higher interest means more money flowing out instead of staying in your household. That should make you angry, but I don't want you stuck in anger. I want you focused. Because here's the shift. Wealth isn't just about income. It's about assets minus liabilities. That's net worth. And net worth grows predictably when you control 3 levers: spending, investing, and ownership. Compound interest, which simply means earning returns on top of your returns, doesn't care about race. It's math. Cold. Consistent. Unemotional. If you invest $500 a month at a 7% average annual return, that becomes over $600,000 in 30 years. That's the same math institutions have been using for generations. The rules weren't passed down equally, but you can learn them now. Let's break down the 7. Step 1. Audit every dollar for 90 days. Before you invest, before you buy property, before you talk about legacy, you need clarity.
Where is your money? Know where your money is going. Okay, if you're like me, you will have to come to the agreement, understanding. And I don't know if this is all men, but men will spend more money on food, eating out and stuff than I think women will. I mean, at least that's been my experience. But you have to find out where the hole in your bag is. Me, it's food.
According to the Federal Reserve, Black and Latino households are significantly more likely to rely on alternative financial services, things like check cashing stores and payday lenders, which can charge the equivalent of 200% plus annual interest. That's not a budgeting problem. That's a system extracting from you. But here's the part you control. For the next 90 days, track every dollar, every swipe, every subscription, it's just $12. Use a free app like Mint Alternative Rocket Money, or even a simple spreadsheet. The tool doesn't matter. Awareness does, because small leaks compound. If you're losing $150 a month to unused subscriptions, overdraft fees, and impulse spending, that's $1,800 a year. Invest $1,800 annually at 7% for 30 years. That becomes roughly $170,000. Read that again. That's not coffee money. That's retirement money. Now let's talk about something real. Many middle-class families of color carry invisible financial obligations, helping parents with rent, sending money to relatives, covering emergencies for siblings. That's cultural. That's love. But it can quietly drain your growth. Instead of pretending that pressure doesn't exist, cap it. Create a giving fund at 5% of your income. If you make $70,000 a year, that's $3,500 annually, about $290 a month. When that fund is empty, it's empty. No guilt, no resentment, just structure.
That's where you say, hey, do you have any money I could borrow? Do you have any? I'm sorry, I don't. I've given all, I've lent out all, It's not to say that you're broke. No, the money I had set aside to be able to give, I'm all out of that. Okay? I'm all out of that. Someone taught me, who's probably listening, bless her heart, that, when someone comes to you and say, hey, can I borrow $50? Man, I was just about to ask you that same question. Well, this way, you can just say, hey, you know what? The money that I had to be able to get, whatever, because, people ask if you've got extra money, as if there is such a thing. Extra money. Well, this way you say, hey, the money that I had set aside, yeah, I still have my budgeted grocery money and bill money, but money to give away, so sorry.
You can't build generational wealth if you're financially bleeding in silence. Clarity is power, and this step alone will change how you see money. Step 2, build 3 to 6 months of expenses in cash. Here's the stat that should keep you up at night. The Federal Reserve reports that 52% of black adults say they would struggle to cover a $400 emergency expense. $400. That's a car repair, a medical bill, a broken appliance. Without cash reserves, every emergency becomes debt, and debt charges interest, and interest compounds against you. So we flip it. Start with a $1,000 starter fund, then work toward 3 to 6 months of essential expenses, not lifestyle expenses. Essentials. If your monthly necessities are $2,500, your full emergency fund target is between $7,500 and $15,000. Keep this money in a high-yield savings account earning 4 to 5% annual percentage yield. APY just means the real yearly return, including compounding. At 4.5%, $10,000 earns about $450 per year without you lifting a finger. It won't make you rich. That's not its job. Its job is protection. Because when layoffs happen, and data from the Bureau of Labor Statistics consistently shows black workers experience higher unemployment rates, you don't want panic making your decisions. You want options. Use federally insured banks or credit unions. Check platforms like National Credit Union Administration to verify insurance protection. This fund is your shield. Once you stop reacting to emergencies with credit cards, you stop leaking interest. And once you stop leaking interest, your money finally starts staying home. And that's when we can start building. If you're new here and just subscribed, comment your name below. I read every comment and shout out new subscribers in my next video. IDEO appreciate you joining me on this finance journey. You've plugged the leaks. You've built the shield. Now we remove the anchor. Step 3, eliminate high-interest debt aggressively. Credit cards aren't evil, but 20 to 25% interest is. According to the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, Black and Latino borrowers are more likely to carry higher cost credit products, even at similar income levels. That means the same $5,000 balance can cost you more over time. Here's the math. A $5,000 credit card balance at 24% APR. APR just means annual percentage rate, the yearly cost of borrowing, with minimum payments could take you over 15 years to pay off and cost more than $6,000 in interest. That's more than the original debt. Interest at 24% doesn't compound for you. It compounds against you. You have 2 proven methods. The avalanche method, pay off the highest interest rate first. The snowball method, pay off the smallest balance first for momentum. If you have $2,000 at 25%, $5,000 at 22%, $8,000 at 18%, the avalanche says attack the 25% first. Mathematically, that saves the most money. But if knocking out the $2,000 gives you psychological momentum, do that. Behavior beats theory every time. If you free up $600 a month by eliminating debt, and you redirect that $600 into investments earning 7% for 25 years, that becomes roughly $380,000. Same money.
Don't cut your thumb, dude. Don't cut your thumb.
Different direction. And let's acknowledge something. In many families of color, debt wasn't used for luxury. It was used for survival, tuition gaps, medical bills, helping relatives. There's no shame in that. But survival tools shouldn't become permanent chains. If you need structure, look at nonprofit credit counseling through organizations approved by the U.S. Department of Justice. Avoid debt settlement, companies promising miracles. Freedom first, then growth. Now we shift from defense to offense. Step 4. Invest, even if it feels small, even if it feels early. Here's the stat that explains so much. The Federal Reserve reports that only about 39% of black families own stocks, compared to roughly 66% of white families. That gap alone explains decades of difference in wealth accumulation, because ownership compounds. When you buy a stock or an index fund, which is simply a bundle of hundreds of companies grouped together, you're buying tiny pieces of businesses. And as those businesses grow, your ownership grows. If you invest $500 per month into a low-cost index fund averaging 7% annually, in 30 years, that's over $600,000. Start with $200 a month. That's still around $240,000 over 30 years. Time matters more than amount. If your employer offers a 401k match, that's free money. If they match 4% of your salary and you make $60,000, that's $2,400 a year added automatically if you contribute at least that much. No match. Open a Roth IRA, a retirement account where your money grows tax-free and withdrawals in retirement are tax-free. You can open one at platforms like Vanguard, Fidelity Investments, or Charles Schwab Corporation. And I need to say this directly. There is historical distrust of financial institutions in our communities, and for good reason. From discriminatory lending to predatory products, the history is real. But broad market index funds aren't about trusting a banker. They're about owning the economy itself. You don't have to feel ready. You just have to start. Because every year you wait costs you 5 figures in future compounding.
Woo!
Defense builds stability. Investing builds wealth. And we're just getting started. You're investing now. Good. But investing gets easier when there's more income flowing in. Step 5. Build income beyond your primary job. According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, black workers consistently face higher unemployment rates than white workers, often nearly double during recessions. That's not about work ethic. That's about labor market exposure. One income stream means 1 point of failure. 2 streams, now you have insulation. Your target, build side income equal to 20% of your main salary. If you earn $70,000 per year, that's an extra $14,000 annually, about $1,166 per month. Invest that $1,166 monthly at 7% for 25 years. That grows to roughly $900,000. That's how income diversification turns into wealth acceleration. Now let's keep it practical. Use skill-based platforms where gatekeeping is lower and bias is reduced by digital marketplaces. Sites like Upwork, Fiverr, and Etsy allow you to monetize skills: writing, design, tutoring, digital products, handcrafted goods. If you prefer local service, think tax prep, notary services, bookkeeping, event rentals. And I know what you're thinking. I'm already tired. That's real. Many middle-class families of color are already carrying family responsibilities, community commitments, sometimes even translation duties for parents. So don't think second job. Think scalable skill. Start with 5 hours a week. Build to automation. Raise rates. The goal isn't burnout. It's leverage. Because income is the fuel. Investing is the engine. Now let's talk about the asset that built more American wealth than any other. Step 6. Approach real estate as strategy, not just shelter. The homeownership gap is about 28 percentage points between black and white households, according to the U.S. Census Bureau. That gap is one of the biggest drivers of the wealth divide. Because when you own property, 2 things happen. Your housing payment builds equity, which simply means ownership value. The property itself appreciates over time. Let's say you buy a $250,000 home with 3.5% down using an FHA loan, insured by the Federal Housing Administration. That's about $8,750 down. If that home appreciates at just 3% annually, in 30 years it's worth about $607,000. And that doesn't include the equity you build by paying down the mortgage. Now here's the strategy layer. House hacking. Buy a duplex. Live in one unit. Rent the other. If your mortgage is $2,200 and your tenant pays $1,200, your real housing cost drops to $1,000.
That's right.
Lower expenses, higher ownership, faster wealth building. And yes, we need to acknowledge redlining. Discriminatory housing policies from the 20th century limited where black families could buy and receive loans. That history shaped today's numbers. But today there are tools. Visit HUD or housing.gov to find down payment assistance programs in your state. Many offer $5,000 to $20,000 in grants. Real estate isn't mandatory, but strategic ownership, that changes family trajectories. Income builds capacity. Ownership builds permanence. And the final step ties it all together. You've built income. You've built assets. Now we protect it. Step 7. Formalize the legacy. Here's a stat that doesn't get talked about enough. Only about 16% of black families have a will, compared to nearly half of white families, according to survey data cited by organizations like Caring.com and reinforced by research discussed at the Brookings Institution. That should concern you, because without a will, state law decides where your assets go. Probate, which is the court process of distributing assets, can freeze property for months or even years. That's how wealth disappears between generations. A basic will can cost a few $100s. Platforms like LegalZoom or your local state bar association can connect you with licensed attorneys. Next, term life insurance. Term life is simple. You pay a small monthly premium, and if you pass during the policy term, your family receives a payout. No investing component, just protection. A healthy 35-year-old might get a $500,000 20-year term policy for $25 to $40 a month. That's leverage. $40 a month invested at 7% for 30 years becomes around $48,000. But if that same $40 protects a $500,000 payout during your highest earning years, that's risk management. Finally, education. A 529 plan, named after Section 529 of the tax code, is a tax-advantaged college savings account. Earnings grow tax-free if used for qualified education expenses. Open one through your state or compare plans at savingforcollege.com. If you invest $200 per month from birth at 7%, in 18 years that becomes about $77,000. That can mean your child graduates with opportunity instead of debt. And I need to acknowledge something. In many families of color, talking about death feels uncomfortable. Estate planning can feel morbid or even arrogant, like we don't have enough to need that. But this isn't about death. It's about control. It's about making sure the sacrifices you make don't evaporate. Because wealth isn't just what you build. It's what you pass on intact. Let's stack this up. Imagine a family starting with a net worth of $50,000. They audit their spending and redirect $300 per month into investments. They eliminate high-interest debt and free up $600 per month. They build a side income stream generating $1,000 per month and invest half. They buy a modest home that appreciates steadily. They consistently invest through retirement accounts earning an average 7% annually. That's roughly $1,400 per month invested. At 7% for 30 years, that's about $1.7 million in investment accounts alone.
Lord have mercy.
Add home equity growth. Potentially another $400,000 to $600,000 depending on the market. Now you're looking at a household crossing $2 million in net worth over a working lifetime.
Lord have mercy.
Not through lottery wins. Not through viral business exits. Through disciplined application of math. The same math that built generational wealth for other communities. Systemic racism is real. Historical exclusion is real. Those forces shaped the starting line. But compound growth is also real. And when enough families apply these principles at the same time, something powerful happens. Net worth rises. Options expand. Communities stabilize. Political influence grows. Wealth is quiet power. So here's what I want you to do. Comment below with the step you're starting first. Not all 7. Just the first one. Commitment matters. Share this with one family member or friend who needs structure. not motivation, structure. That's how we build collective power. And if you're serious about closing the gap in your lifetime, subscribe. Because
Well, at this particular point, I am just wondering, I've said it before, whether or not our brother Adrian has a word or two for us. I don't know if he has something on his mind, but he is our Minister of Economics. And, things have been kind of interesting as far as the market is concerned, as far as crypto, and I'm just wondering if our brother Adrian has anything that he wants to share with us. I do appreciate our brother Adrian. I really do appreciate him. I appreciate his knowledge, and I lean on his knowledge. I lean on him when I have questions, when I have concerns, about some things financially, especially when it comes to crypto. So, brother Adrian, in fact, we have someone calling in.
Call from.
This is Adrian.
To accept, press 1.
My brother.
Shalom.
Shalom. Thank you so much for calling in. I am just curious, my brother. I respect you and I appreciate your wisdom, and I really want to know what's on your mind right now. It doesn't have to be anything significant, doesn't have to be anything special, but I just want to check in with you. And first of all, how you doing, my brother?
I am blessed. Grateful to Yah. Yah has been blessing me beyond what I can imagine. I'm grateful to him. Love the family. Love you, Moray. Appreciate.
Bless you, my brother. Likewise.
Absolutely.
Likewise.
Absolutely. I'm great.
Excellent, man. I'm glad to hear that. So what's on your mind as far as finances are concerned? You are our Minister of Economics, and we just kind of lean on you. Not to say that you have all the answers in the world, not to say that you can snap your finger and make us prosperous, but just with as much as the Most High has blessed you, what are you thinking? What are you thinking right now with the Gulf of Hormuz being open and closed and open and so forth and so on? What's on your mind?
Alrighty, if I can have about 3 to 5 minutes,
yes,
I
sir.
would like to give some information. Okay, and if anyone wants to jot down questions or anything, reserve those and send them to me via email. I'll be able to answer them. And so I'll begin by saying this. Forget what you think. It means very little in the crypto market. You've got governments, banks, and major institutions. They've already bought in, and they've got more data, more access, and more at stake than we ever will.
That's a good point.
They're not guessing either. They're moving, and they're not waiting for us to catch up. So, one doesn't have to believe in crypto, but the people who move the market, they already do, and that's what matters.
I love that.
Yeah, so my favorite phrase, this is my favorite phrase, Maury. You're either on the train or you're on the track. That's it, that's all,
I like it. Sir, do I have your permission to use that?
Absolutely.
Excellent.
So, right now, the crypto market is in a waiting phase, so while Bitcoin isn't really crashing, it's remaining within a down range of staying where it is. So let's just imagine Bitcoin is a bouncing ball in a room,
Yeah.
So the floor is 75,000, and every time the ball hits the floor, buyers catch it and toss it back up. The ceiling is 80,000, and so every time it hits the ceiling, people decide to take their trophies home and they push it back down, and the result is, the ball just keeps bouncing back and forth. It's not breaking through the roof, but it's not falling through the basement either. So currently, we know Bitcoin is leading the market, and so we'll look at it like this. In the crypto world, Bitcoin is like the big brother, and those altcoins like Ethereum, XRP, they're the younger siblings. So right now, parents who are the investors, it's like they're giving all their allowance money to Bitcoin, and it feels, like the safest place for them to put their money, while the younger siblings, like those altcoins like Ethereum, they're just waiting in the wings. And once Bitcoin stops bouncing and settles down, that's when the money starts flowing to the smaller coin. But we're not quite there yet. So I want to give a 6-day outlook in 3 realistic scenarios. Just, the most likely scenario will keep sideways movement. And for people who don't know what that is, that's just like you're moving up and down within the same range and there's no big breakout. There could be a bullish scenario where prices go up, and if Bitcoin breaks above 80,000, it could move higher. Or there's the bearish scenario, which when prices go down, you got some outside factors like you said, the Gulf of Hormuz and all those things tend to scare people, and it makes the market fall back down. But not to fear, we got some simple strategies to deal with this. So right now, we're not at that get rich quick moment, which there can be that. I've experienced it, been there, made a 7,400% profit on investments. So
love to hear it. Love to hear it.
It will come. So don't chase the prices when they suddenly jump. Try to buy when the prices are lower and not higher.
Yes.
Then consider investing a small amount over time. Here's a favorite phrase of mine too. Time in the market outgains timing the market. So just steadily make your investments over a period of time.
Definitely words of wisdom.
Oh yeah. It's a slower phase of the market, so just be patient and focus on consistency, not the quick wins. Now, here's the final takeaway. This market right now is stable and undecided, so Bitcoin is strong and leading. Smaller coins are quieter. The market is waiting for the next big move. So in simple terms, nothing dramatic is happening now, but, that usually precedes the big moves. So just keep your eye out and reach out to me, and I can definitely signal you when big movements are coming.
Excellent. Well, thank you, my brother. I do appreciate your perspective, and you said a lot of good, and I appreciate it. And I have taken your advice, sir. I definitely have. So I have a little bit that I make sure that I invest on a weekly basis. It's just a little something that I'm not going to miss, but it just every week without me even thinking about it. It goes there, and I'm telling you, I was surprised to see the balance the other day. So, hey, it's just, you got good advice. Thank you.
Absolutely. And I'll say this last thing if I may. You guys, the movies, the little trips here and there, the Starbucks, the whatever meals that you get from fast food or whatever you eat, put that away for a while and invest. I mean, if you really take a look at what you spend at Starbucks or all these places in a month, you'd be amazed at. I'm
trying to tell you. No, you are right. You are right, because I've had to look at my budget. Man, when I saw what I was spending on just food here and there, just buy this, at the time it seemed like, I don't do this a lot. I don't do this. Man, by the time I looked at what that was for the month, I was mad at myself. I was mad.
I get it. That's just the thing. If you see what you're spending versus you're not seeing it, you're just in your mind, okay, I bought this, I got that, no big deal. That stuff adds up fast.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, thank you, my brother. I do appreciate you. Love you, man.
Love you, too. Appreciate you. Thank you. Everybody have a wonderful spot. Hope to hear from you soon.
All right, my brother. Be well.
Shalom, you as well.
Shalom. I love it. I appreciate our brother, our Minister of Economics. Sound advice. Very sound advice. Right now, the market is, and of course, the market is being manipulated on purpose through certain statements that are being said. And it's caused a lot of volatility in the market as it continued to basically go sideways. So, but there's a strategy for everything. So, hey, my brother's giving us some good advice. And I just want to let you all know, hey, this is, man, it's wonderful. And I appreciate it. I do appreciate what my brother said. And so, hey, we're going to continue. We're going to continue to heed. And you know what? I think it's time for us to go to the next segment. In this controversial corner, we're going to hear from my teacher. Yes, my teacher. Yes, is coming right up. We have none other than Alicia Yisrael coming to us right about now. Peace be upon him.
You know, what I'm finna testify before you is going to astonish many of the people in our listening audience. We have four so-called witnesses of the resurrection: Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. They didn't really write these books, but they were wrote years after they died by people that said they witnessed various things that they said. And so they have the witnesses of witnesses that supposed to have compiled this material.
Lies.
And did you know every description of the resurrection are totally diverse from one another? But there is one thing that all four Gospels had in common, where there was no contradiction, no inconsistencies, no differences whatsoever. The one thing they all agreed on is the fact that he died on Friday, and Sunday morning he was already gone. That's the one thing that they all agreed on. But everything else is totally diverse. Now, let's start reading the first account of the so-called resurrection. They all agreed that it started getting dark in the 6th hour, all four editions. They all agreed that at the 9th hour he cried out, and you can see, as is written in verse 46, they all agreed that sometime during the 9th hour that he died and gave up the ghost, as written in verse 50. And they all agreed that after he died, he had a disciple that was a rich man by the name of Joseph, who came and took his body. Why is that so amazing? Well, later on we're going to read that they really wanted the body guarded so that nobody could steal the body away and say he's risen. Well, the reality is they didn't have to steal it away because the disciples always had the possession of the body. After he died, the disciples took the possession of the body, and the Romans never seen his body again after they gave it to Joseph. Now we're going to start reading at verse 57. It says,
Matthew chapter 27, verse 57. When the even was come, there came a rich man of Arimathea.
And I will prove beyond a shadow of a doubt that the evening that they're speaking about is the evening of Friday, the evening of the 6th day, the evening that was pertained to as the day of preparation. That is the evening that they're speaking of. And it says again, when the what?
When the even was come, there came a rich man of Arimathea named Joseph, who also himself was JC disciple.
Let's stop. Now how can JC have a rich man that's his disciple?
He talked against
That's an oxymoron. Of course, that's not calling nobody a moron, but that's a complete contradiction.
Yes, sir.
Now, why is that point a complete contradiction? If we hold that page for a moment and go to Matthew's, the 19th chapter. In Matthew's, the 19th chapter, we're going to start reading at verse 16. It says,
And behold, one came and said unto him, Good master, what good thing shall I do, that I may have eternal life?
He said, Good master, what good thing might I do to have eternal life? I want eternal life.
And he said unto him, Why callest thou me good?
First thing he let him know, you definitely not going to get no eternal life by calling me good. You're definitely on the wrong track here, fellow. Why are you calling me good if you're seeking after eternal life? And then he says to the man, there is none good but one, and that is Elohim. But if thou desire life, keep the commandments.
Ooh.
Keep the commandments. Well, this is odd. Since Christianity teaches us through the word of Paul that the commandments are done away with. That we're not under the law. That we're not going to be bound anymore by the curse of the law. That Christ came to destroy the curse of the law. And here we have Christ in the New Testament telling a man that if you desire life, keep the commandments. And then
he said unto him,
Which commandments should I keep? Should I pay tithes? Should I honor my mother and father? Should I not steal? What did he say?
JC said, Thou should do no murder.
Notice he didn't say that JC said, Thou shalt have no other Elohim before me. He didn't say that JC said, Thou shalt not use the name of Yahweh in vain. He didn't say that Yahweh says, Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image or any likeness of anything that's in heaven above, the earth below, or the waters under the earth. He didn't say that Yahweh said, remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. He completely ignored the first 5 commandments where Yahweh dictates service to him and him alone. But what he quoted were the latter 5 commandments that states how we're supposed to treat our neighbor and our brothers, but not how we ought to treat Yah. He started off by saying,
and I tell you, my brothers and sisters, I absolutely love my teacher. So it is controversial to a certain degree, some of the things that he's saying. If you had time to get into it, if you had time to focus on it, he brings out so many good points, so many things that are hidden in plain sight. And I absolutely love my teacher. May the Most High bless him. Peace be upon him. He is departed, but I tell you, I do honor my teacher. I respect him gratefully, and I'm so glad that what he says may be controversial to some, but I am completely glad that I understand every word of it, and hey, I am good with it. And I just wanted to, it's been a while since I've focused on my teacher, Elisha Israel, who is on YouTube. And hey, I thought I'd just bring him back before you one more time. Let's go into the next segment. I know about timekeeping in the Tanakh? Do I know about timekeeping in the Tanakh? Question number 1. According to the Tanakh, which event establishes the first month of Israel's sacred year calendar? According to the Tanakh, which event establishes the first month of Israel's sacred year calendar? Is it A, the giving of the 10 words at Sinai? Is it B, the selection and slaughtering of the Passover lamb? Or C, the dedication of the tabernacle? Or D, none of the above? Or E, the coronation of David in Hebron? Michael Charles Marsh, peace and blessings to you, my brother, and you, Mr. Weeze. Glad to see you guys. Michael Charles Marsh is the first to weigh in with a B. Mr. Weeze weighs in with a B. Christine Croning, B. Shalom, Brother Gilly. Good to see you. Brother Raymond Radcliffe weighs in with the B. Brother Ben Naphtali, peace and blessings to you. He weighs in with a B. Who else wants to weigh in? Going once, going twice. And the answer is, according to the Tanakh, which event establishes the first month of Israel's sacred year calendar? The correct answer is B, the selection and slaughtering of the Passover lamb. The reference comes to us from Exodus 12, 1 through 14, and also Exodus 13, verses 3 and 4. Which reads, "And Moshe said unto the people, remember this day in which ye came out from Mitzrayim, out of the house of bondage, for by strength of hand of Yah that brought you out from this place, there shall no leavened bread be eaten. This day came ye out in the month of Abib." Congratulations to those who did get correct answers. Question number 2. Which term most clearly connects the Hebrew calendar to agricultural observation rather than only mathematical calculation? Let me read the question again. Which term most clearly connects the Hebrew calendar to agricultural observation rather than only mathematical calculation? Is it A, Chodesh, B, Aviv, C, Shavat, D, none of the above, or E, Yovel? It may seem as if this is a hard one, but it really isn't. Mr. Weeze is the first to weigh in with an A. Raymond Radcliffe weighs in with an E. Miss H weighs in with an A and a B. Gilly weighs in with a B. Michael Charles Marsh weighs in with a B. And Ben Naftali weighs in with a B. Beloved elder Christine Croning says, well, I'm going to guess A and B. And the answer is B, Aviv. This reference comes to us from Exodus 13, verse 4, and Exodus 23, verse 15, and Deuteronomy 16 and verse 1, which reads, observe the month of Aviv and keep the Passover unto Yah, thy Elohim, for in the month of Aviv, Yah thy Elohim brought thee forth out of Mitzrayim by night. The month of Aviv is tied to, as you take a look at the brief note, the month of Aviv is tied to the stages of ripening grain and connects the calendar to the spring agricultural cycle. Congratulations to everyone that did get a correct answer. Question number 3. Which observance shows that the Tanakh reckons sacred time by both lunar months and agricultural seasons? Which observance shows that the Tanakh references or reckons sacred time by both lunar months and agricultural seasons? Is it A, the Day of Atonement, B, the Feast of Unleavened Bread, C, the Year of Jubilee, D, none of these, and E, the dedication of Solomon's Temple? Which one could it be? Mr. Weeze is the first to weigh in with the B. Gilly weighs in with the B. Raymond Radcliffe also B. Miss H also with the B. Michael Charles Marsh weighs in with the B. Christine Croning weighs in with the B. Going once, going twice. And the answer is B. The Feast of Unleavened Bread. Reference comes to us from Exodus 23, verse 15. Also Exodus 34:18, Deuteronomy 16:1. Exodus 23:15 reads, Thou shalt keep the Feast of Unleavened Bread. Thou shalt eat unleavened bread 7 days, as I commanded thee, in the time appointed of the month Aviv, for in it thou camest out from Mitzrayim, and none shall appear before me empty. Please note that unleavened bread begins as a fix to the month of Aviv, tying the lunar month to the spring ripening season. Congratulations to everyone that did get the correct answer. Question number 4, last question. In the Tanakh, what calendar feature is most directly connected to the sounding of trumpets and sacred assembly? In the Tanakh, which calendar feature is most directly connected to the sounding of trumpets and sacred assembly? Is it A, the first day of the 7th month? Is it B, the 10th day of the first month? Or C, the 15th day of the second month? Or D, none of the above? Or E, the 7th day of the first month? Mr. Weeds is the first to weigh in with the C. Miss H weighs in with an A. Michael Charles Marsh weighs in with an A. Going once, going twice. Naphtali weighs in with an A. Christine Croning weighs in with an A. And Raymond Radcliffe weighs in with an A. Answer is A. In the Tanakh, what calendar feature is most directly connected to the sounding of the trumpets and sacred assembly? Yes, the correct answer is A, the first day of the 7th month, which comes to us from Leviticus 23 through 25, and Numbers 29 and 1. And it reads, and in the 7th month, on the first day of the month, Ye shall have an holy convocation. Ye shall do no service, no servile work. It is a day of blowing the trumpets unto you. Congratulations to everyone that did get correct answers. Congratulations to you. This has been How Hebrew Are You?
Here we go. Let's ready to play.
It's time for the Scholar Spotlight.
Some level. Okay? He said something recently about the deity, the fish god, and its connection to the Catholic Church.
For those of you that don't know who this is our beloved sister Abigail Lucy Mary with her beautiful self here. I don't know. I want to see her husband. I'm wondering who her husband is. I've never seen him on one of her podcasts or broadcasts, but she does bring us some interesting information. And so let's see what she's bringing up today.
And he had this explanation, a deeper explanation, while he talked about etymology. And he's someone that he talks a lot about etymology. And he encouraged every African to study etymology. When you're talking about something that the etymology of a particular word, understand how these things came to be so that you can have a solid debate when you are debating about situation that you strongly believe that, maybe you have a particular opinion about. Let's listen to Mazi DB say something, and then we continue.
I am telling somebody etymology, and the Reverend Father is telling me, do I mean that the Catholic Church worship the fish deity Dagon? The problem I have is this. I said that the day Africa will start understanding etymology, then our study will be complete. Let me give you an example. What I studied in school is chemical engineering. But the etymology of chemistry is actually from the word Kemet, an ancient land of Africa called
Very true.
Egypt. Now, the original name Kemet, that is the etymology of the word chemistry. So if an African child understands that chemistry has its etymology from the name Kemet, it will now prove that Kemet are actually the founders of chemistry. The Arabians call them Al-Keme, just like you hear them saying Al-Nasa, Al-Kuwait. Okay, so when you hear them say Al-Keme, from the word Al-Keme we got the word alchemy. The Arab word Al-Keme gave us the word alchemy, the science of the transmutation of matter. Etymology, pointing to you that Africa is the origin of science. But the problem is that in my days as a chemical engineering student, none of my lecturers taught me that the etymology of the word chemistry is actually from the African word chemet. Now the problem is this, it will now elude me to understand the origin of the knowledge. I will be reading English dictionary and they will sending me etymons from Greek, Latin. That is balderdash. But if you tell an African child that the etymology of what he's studying is actually from his ancestors, it elates him with pride, give him a sense of reasoning that he's actually the pioneers of knowledge.
Yes.
What am I trying to say?
Yes.
I made a video the other day telling you that every invention started from here. You people don't understand. I told you to research about the Tartarian Empire. That the things you think that are invented by the white people are actually invented by the black-headed people. For example, while I'm going to Russia is to just prove to you that the Tartarians, who are the pioneers of Russian civilization, are actually black-headed people, including Alexander Pushkin, who gave you the Russian language. It took a black-headed man to develop what you speak today as Russian. If you don't understand the etymology, you will get it wrong. The etymology of the word slave will prove to you that it was not Africans that were slaves. The word slave is from the etymology of the word Slavic, an Indo-European.
Clock it.
Slavic. So it is the Slavic people that are actually slaves. From the word Slavic, we got slave. So when I review etymology, I am not here to massage your ego. I'm only teaching you what you fail to learn in your tertiary institutions, in your primary institution, your secondary institution. Because they know that if you learn etymology, you can decipher their lie. For example, when I told you that the etymology of the word church is from the word kuriakon, which means the slave master's house. And people said, why am I saying this? I said, because the word kuriakon means the Lord's house. And the etymology of the word Lord is a slave master, the keeper of the bread. That is to say, when I say kuriakon, I mean slave master. And that is the root word for the word church. So when I said I don't go to church, you look at me like, how can you say you don't go to church? I said I don't go to church because I'm not a slave. Etymology. When you understand the etymology, it will help you to understand origin of words. For example, it took an Enugu man, Kinsil Ugwani, a lecturer in UNN, to add about 20-something words of Nigerian origin into the Advanced Learners Dictionary. For example, the word nyash is now an English word, you know. Originally, nyash was a colloquial expression. You understand what I mean by colloquial expression? It's a slangs. So if I say nyash before, it's a Nigerian slangs for bomb, for the boat. But originally, it is a colloquial expression from Nigeria. But now it's an official English word. So if you go to an advanced Oxford Learners Dictionary, you can see nyash as an English word now. But that does not mean that the etymology is not from Nigeria. Nyash, bomb, is now an English word. So if I am writing in WAEC and you ask me, and I tell and I write in comprehension that the nyash of the lady is so big, it is correct. Because now, Kinsil Ugwani, a lecturer from UNN, who is now part of the lexicographers, have added nyash as an English word. So nyash ablugo Igbo. Now let me now shock you. Abeg is now an English word. Abeg is now officially in the English dictionary. Bomb. Mama put. Damfo. These are all included in the English dictionary. Why am I trying to make this point? To stress the concept of etymology. Etymology traces the origin of the word, traces the history, how the word was formed, so you understand the root word. Okay? So when I give you etymology, I am not massaging your ego. I don't even care. whether you like it or not. The word church by etymology means a slave master's house, and I don't care whether you like it or not. So understand the etymology and you have peace. That is why they lie to the African child. That is why you fail to comprehend the mysteries I released for you. So today I posted the Papa cap, and I was explaining to you that the cap that your bishops, your pope wear is from the Dagon deity. The high priest of the Dagon deity wears this Papa cap to represent the deity, the fish deity Dagon. And I said it, a reverend father asked me, am I now saying that the Catholic Church worships Dagon? And I said, if you don't understand the etymology, suit yourself.
Right, Majesty, that's Mazi Dibia there. It's up here on YouTube as well. You can check him out. I'll leave the link to his channel maybe at the description, or I'll write it on the screen so that you can easily, type it out and check him out. He has said a lot. He said everything. If you watch the video where I spoke about the American Catholic priest who said that Yeshua was black, like I said, him admitting that Yeshua was black or is black changes everything. And the reason it carries weight is because the deceits originated even from the Catholic Church. They are the ones that changed the whole situation. And while I was having a discussion with you, I spoke at length about the training that the Catholic priest received prior to becoming a priest. They'll go through rigorous training, academic, serious trainings, because they have to study philosophy and theology before, becoming a priest. But while they go through these trainings, there are things that are not let out to them. And that's why I told you here that, My Majesties, I'm sorry, but it's not his fault. That priest that questioned Mazi PPR, it's not his fault. They might look even very old in the system, who had gone maybe about 25 years as a priest, but there are things that they are still not aware because they are in a box.
We cannot possibly understand Western culture and the history of Western culture without...
We actually saw that one before, but hey, you know what? We're going to call this one done. Etymology was a good time. It's time for Moshe in your kitchen.
Okay, folks, check it out.
Yeah, you know who we got coming back. Our brother AB coming back to us once again. And I've been bringing brother AB back to us when it comes to Moshe in your kitchen because, I just don't have the copyright violations whenever I use his videos for cooking. I mean, there's a lot of cooking shows I've gotten in trouble with, and even, other issues too as well. But hey, here's another good one coming from our brother AB. And this is, of course, Moshe in your kitchen.
Look, I'm excited for this, and this is so simple. Everybody got a lot of versions of it, but I took my time to go ahead and measure everything out. And don't forget the full ingredient list is on my website, smokingandgrillingwithab.com, right? So listen, everything is laid out right here. Today I'm going to show you guys how to make a delicious, baked chicken. Instead of just doing chicken pieces, we're doing chicken quarters. Let's get it. Okay, so listen, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and preheat our oven, right? So I'm going to go ahead and hit bake. We're going to do it at 350 degrees, and then we're going to hit start. Okay, as you guys can see, listen, these are the ingredients, right? Not for a lack of ingredients, trust me. When I tell you simple works, right? This right here, this is our chicken. This chicken right here, we using quarters. We got our seasonings, then we got our veggies, right? We got 2 onions and 2 bell peppers, red and green. We got salt and pepper, and don't forget the full ingredient list is on my website, smokingandgrillingwithab.com, and that's WITAB.com. Okay, so all your dry ingredients, listen, we're going to put them all in the inside, right? Dump and go. So as you see, we just dump them in just like this.
I got to get me some of them cute little glass bowls, man. I got to do it. That looks nice.
Okay, now look, just the chili powder, right? You can use ancho, you know what I mean? Me, I like this flavor. It can be either or, and again, it's on my website. But we're only gonna use about a half a teaspoon. Now, for my, ground pepper, you know what I mean? I like fresh ground, you know what I mean? So I just put this in here.
I use fresh ground pepper too. I use fresh ground pepper, but I also use the fresh rock salt that you grind right in the moment. I don't know. I just think that's more authentic.
Till I cover the top of it, right? And now for my salt, right? So what I'm gonna do is give this a couple of pinches. You know what I mean? It's gonna take a little bit of salt. Don't forget.
And I only use Himalayan salt. I use either the sea salt or the Himalayan salt.
Right here, I got 4 chicken quarters. You know what I mean? So we got a little work. Get yourself a fork or a whisk. You know what I mean? And go ahead and go to town and get it all incorporated. Okay, so look, now we're getting ready to do our veggies, right? You guys already have seen I got the onions, you know what I mean? So I'm getting ready to just cut this down like this, right?
Now, interesting, what you may not have known is that there are male and female peppers. I discovered this the other day, and I don't know if you all know this, but there are male and female peppers. The peppers that have 4 on them, I believe, are the females, and those are sweeter. If you turn the pepper upside down and you have 3, then that's a male pepper, and it's going to be less sweet. Okay, I learned that there were male and female peppers a little while ago, and man, he is just going to town on this pepper.
I ask everybody, if you cut yours like me, I save this. I put this in a Ziploc and put it in my, my vegetable drawer, right? So then I clear. Look, I just come in here like this, and I just go ahead and clear this up and make it easy. So
okay, he's using that method. Okay, I see you.
I can take this and the seed pod straight to the trash can. Okay, so I cut them down like this, man. You don't really have to do them. You do them any way you want to, right? See, when I cut them down like this, I do this out of habit, right? But I'm just going to go ahead and make some of these right here as if I was getting ready to dice it. But to be honest with you, you want some bigger pieces like this. You want them long, right? I'm going to do the same thing over here. Go ahead, but we're not going to dice though, for sure. And notice I kept them a little long. You know what I mean? A little thick, right? So here, now I'll just... So what I do is I just arrange these like that. So some of you guys have probably already figured out why I'm doing this, because I'm actually going to take the chicken after I season it up. We're going to put this right here on top, right? This along with the onions. You know what I mean? I can put some garlic, cloves in here, however you want to do it. And to be honest with you, if I wanted to, I could go ahead and cut this down, which I think I am. And we put these in there too. And now we're going to do the same thing with the onion. All right, now that I got the onion cut, look, you see the way I cut mine, right? So I get these rings, you know what I mean? So we just go ahead and just move them, break them open like that, that's all. Depends on how big your onion is, you know what I mean, how much you want to use. For me, I like to use the majority of my onion. You guys know I love to have, the onion taste, having them southern flavors. All right, so you guys see it like this. Take a little... I use extra virgin olive oil. If you're new to my channel, you know this is branching vines infused olive oil. I fill this one with a rosemary infused olive oil, right? So we'll move this over here. We'll put this here. And now it's time to go ahead and season, our quarters.
I hope he cuts the fat off. I really do.
Okay, so you remember we had this, right? This is what we...
No, don't season it before you cut all that fat off. I know you cut some skin off, but cut the fat off, AB.
Hey, I tell you, I took the time to give you guys the right blend, right? So now we're just getting ready to coat.
Don't you see that fat right there you can cut off? I see fat on all those pieces you can cut off, especially that one in the back. That one too. Dang, that's a lot of that is a lot of fat. Even there, that's all of that skin and that fat. I would always cut that off of Yeah, I got to cut those off the thighs.
Just like this. And I like to coat it liberally. You know what I mean? We made enough to actually do 6 quarters. You might even have a little.
Okay, so what I would have done differently, okay, I know I'm not AB, right? But I would cut the fat off of those pieces. And then I would drizzle a little olive oil on the chicken first so that the seasoning really sticks to the meat and it really begins that process of transferring the flavor. I'm just saying that's what I would do.
More. I'm going to take this and give my veggies a little bit of seasoning, right? Even though it's going to fall down off of it, melt down, we're going to get some chicken fat, we're going to get all of that down there, but this right here is just giving it a head start. All right, so look, I flipped them over and got ambitious and went ahead and started going ahead and, putting some seasoning on here. Now, I don't know if you guys can tell that it's shiny. On the bottom side, I don't put no olive oil on there, right? But on the top side, I do. It helps to keep the seasoning on there. I don't mind the bottom.
Okay, so he kind of skipped that part, but now he's mentioning it. Gotcha. But man, I would still cut that. Look at all that fat, man. I would cut all that off. Look at that. I would cut that off.
Everything falling off. You know why? Because it's going to be on my veggies. And then here, I just come right over the top, just like this. You know what I mean? And we put that seasoning on there. Now, you guys can save the rest. You can double this recipe, for your seasoning. You know what I mean? If you like it. And then you can just put it in one of them airtight, jars and just save it. It'll last you for a minute. You know what I mean? So you guys can, season everything. Right? So we getting them in here. And then if you got any spray olive oil or something like that, or avocado oil, you know how they come in the little cans, you can spray it on top. All right, so now we're going to take these and we're going to try to get these giant, look, and they big too. We're going to try to get these giant, quarters. We're going to play Tetris and get them in there just like you see.
We're going to play Tetris. We're going to play Tetris.
So we get them like this. Try to get this one in over here like this. Now remember, we got that bed of veggie down there. Then I'm going to take a little bit of this, and anywhere I put my hands at that I picked up a little bit of the seasoning, we're going to drop it, some more on there. My oven is up to temp. I'm going to go ahead and cover this. Then we're going to put it in the oven. Completely cover it, because what we want to do is create we want to get it completely enclosed, right? So that it'll steam, produce some juice, and we want it to stay super moist, right? So I'm gonna put this in the oven. We're gonna put it in there for 1 hour. I'm not finna look at it or do nothing like that. 1 hour, folks. All right. Now we're gonna take this out. I'm gonna leave my oven on, right? Because I want to show you something. Let me go ahead and get this open. Then we can take a look at it. Now, I use my meat thermometer after an hour, just to take it, find out and temp to see where we at. Now, if you guys haven't gotten yourself one of these is it right here. You even got my signature on it. Smoking and grilling with AB. So now we're going to go in here like this. Ooh, it's super tender. You know what I mean? We'll do that right there. Oh, we at 168. It's selling at about 169. I go into the thickest part of the meat, which is that breast. Oh, yeah. We're going to stick this back in the oven. As a matter of fact, I'm finna raise this up to 400 degrees. Now, the reason I'm doing that is, because we want to go ahead and get just a little bit of, more heat on the top and kind of just tighten up and crisp up that skin. Now, this is only going to take for about 15, 20 minutes. You know what I mean? It's up to you how you guys want to do it. I have done this completely without putting it in, without covering it. I like to have it covered, for my first hour. All right. So now we're going to put this back in there as soon as they can come up to temp. Then we're just going to go about 15, 20 more minutes. Now that we out of the oven, like I said, it'll go about, you can bump it up a little bit, but I like to just take my time with it and look at it so that it doesn't burn. So I'm going to lift this up so you guys can catch a little bit of a little sneak peek. You see that right there? Here, let me get the camera and let's bring it in a little closer. So you see that right there? That's how it should be. Look at that color over there.
Looks good.
Keep talking about
looking good.
I already got rice on my plate. I'm looking at them veggies. Hey, to be honest with you, I ate some of them veggies before I even stuck it back in there. Just go ahead and put this right here on top. Look at that.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
That was a piece of that onion, folks. Now, what's left behind is a lot of the fat that, because this is really dark meat, right? So when you got dark meat, it's got the flavor in there. Now I'm getting ready to scoot a little bit of that on top and around my rice, and we finna eat, folks. All right, so now we get some of these veggies, a little bit of that flavor. Really looking out for these veggies, folks. I don't know about y'all, but this right here is the highlight to me. Then it's okay to put a little bit of this on that rice.
Man, gravies and rices, boy, that's some good eating right there.
You guys do it the way you want to do it. You know what I mean? I like to have my rice to have a lot of that flavor, right? So we just do it like this.
Looking good.
Right? Then I'm finna
like it should, like it should.
Right? All right, there's nothing else, left to do than to just get in here and just, hit a little bone. You see that steam coming out of there right there? Folks.
See, this makes me want to eat some good food right now. It really does. He's making this look really good.
Cheers, y'all. Hold on. Right off the back, look, as soon as you go and cut it, you get it close to your mouth, right? You're going to go ahead and you can smell the herbs and everything that we put together. That right there is great. One of the things I wish I'd have done on this one, like I always do, but I did not, so I'm going to give you a pro tip. You want to pull the skin up and you want to season underneath. You know, you need to get the seasoning on the actual meat, then come back, bring it back over, and then scraping it back over the top like we did, right? Other than that, this right here is fire. Let me know down in the comment section below, what would you do? What, seasoning, what would you add to this? Talk to me, folks, because listen, I read them comments, and you know what? If you got something that's fire or intrigues me, I'm going to try it, and you never know, I'm going to make a video. Now, if you're new to my channel, let me take this time to say, thank you for watching this video. Don't forget to like.
Show me that plate again. I want a bite of that chicken.
Smash that subscribe button, and just tell everybody out there, check this out. There's a channel out here that's simplifying these recipes and taking the mystery out of cooking. And you know what I'm about to do. I'm about to give you a tall, ice-cold glass of water. I'm out. Peace.
Okay, AB. Okay, AB. I love it. I love it. I love it. With our brother AB, listen, this has been another wonderful session, another wonderful Shabbat session with you guys. Family, I love you. I really do. I'm glad that you're here. Glad that you've taken out this time with me. And we have, we've touched upon a number of subjects together, as we do every Shabbat morning coffee, touching just about every important facet of your life, from your relationship with the Most High, to your finances, to what different scholars are saying about theology and what may be controversial to some. We have touched upon a number of different subjects, number of different topics, and I'm glad to do so here with you. We are a community and we are sticking together. That's right. So we've even heard from our Minister of Economics, giving us some good, solid economic advice. And we do have a good time here. Invite someone to join this community. We are a Hebrew community, and we're a loving Hebrew community. We're not angry and trying to burn the world down. We don't teach hate. No, this is the right place to be. I'm your More for this channel, More Malkia Uriel. And yes, we are going to continue, as Yah blesses us. We're going to continue to do what we do. May the Most High bless you. May the Most High keep you. I'm going to stop by the chat room in just a second, just to see what you all are saying before we hightail it out of here. Be right back. All right, I am back, and I'm checking in with you guys in the chat room to see right where you're at, to see what you are saying. And you know what? Hey, peace and blessings to each and every one of you. I love you all. Man, I'm so thankful that you guys are here. And Gilly asked, can I touch on a subject? What subject would you like for me to touch on, sir? Just before we hightail it out of here. I agree with you, my brother Michael Charles March. All praises to the Most High. I enjoy our time together. And man, I'm so thankful for you guys. I'm thankful. I really am. Yeah, that did look good, didn't it, Raymond? Man, that chicken stuff was looking good. So, Gilly, let me know what do you want me to address? And thank you, Christine Croning. Thank you, my beloved elder, for saying, for praying that Yah blesses me and my family. Thank you so much, and I'm glad that I'm in your prayers as well as you are in my prayers. So, with that being the case, yeah, exactly. I agree with you on lifting the skin up and seasoning underneath, definitely. Oh, okay. Thank you, Mr. Wees. Mr. Wees says 3 bumps on the end is 4 bumps is female, 3 males. 3 bumps is the yeah, that's right. 3 bumps is the male. I think that's what I said, and yeah, it's male. Yep. That's exactly what I said. Yep. Okay, all right, go ahead and call in, my brother Gilly. Go ahead and call in. If you want me to address something, go ahead, call in, and we'll address this with the family before we go. So feel free to call in. And we're going to make it quick, my brother, because I have... Yeah, you know, I've got some food upstairs waiting for me. So I'm waiting for you to call in, Gilly. Come on and call in, my brother. All right, I'm waiting for you, but I'm just snack on these while I'm waiting for you. Come on, call in real quick. All right, I'm gonna wait for just a little bit longer. Okay, let me see. Maybe you're typing something in the chat room. Hold on. Oh, you have the old number. Okay. Okay, so try that. Okay, try that new number, 414. It's scrolling right up underneath me. 414-367-7660. Okay. Looks like everything is set the way that it should be. Waiting for your call. I don't know why you can't get through. Everything says that we should be able to get your call, so. I love my brother. Okay, so waiting for the call. 414-367-7660.
Call from
Gilly.
Rory!
Hey, what's going on, man?
Nothing much. Shalom.
Shalom, my brother. Good to hear from you. Good to hear your voice, man.
Yeah. Good to hear from you too. Because we haven't chat for a while. It's been months, you know.
True. Right.
That catch up. Maury, there's a topic that really gets to me.
Okay.
Because of the persecution of our people and what's going on. A lot of people are promoting that Esau is the white man and is our kin. I find that genetically impossible, one. Two, I found out that it cannot be because the scripture said Esau is the end of the world and Jacob is the beginning of it. I believe it is. Like, don't quote me word for word. You know which one I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
But at the same token, the Most High specifically told us that Esau turned his head away when we was going into captivity, which it has its hand in our captivity, but Esau is not the one who puts us in captivity. Esau is not the one who are persecuting us.
Okay, I'm sorry, brother. There's some whistling or some backfeeding going on in the background that's kind of competing with your voice. So I'm trying to understand what you're saying, but
okay, can you hear me now?
I can.
Yeah, it was the feedback. Right.
Okay.
They say Esau is our kin. Esau is the white man. I find out genetically impossible. That's one. Two, I find it that in the scriptures it says that when we were taken in captivity, Esau turned a blind eye. It didn't do nothing to help its kin not to go to captivity. And a matter of fact, it had its hand, part of its hand, and to us going into captivity. Not quoting word for word, right? So my thing is, am I wrong for? Did I download the wrong information, or because can you elaborate on that about the whole Esau thing is not our kin and it cannot be our kin genetically? It's just like if they say white, the whole Judah went into idolatry. Does that mean the whole tribe of Judah went into idolatry, or some other part of Judah went into idolatry? Because not the whole Judah. That means if the whole Judah, that means the whole generation of Judah went into idolatry, right?
Okay. Yeah. Now, please keep in mind, like, for instance, let me give you an example. Like, when you talk about, Judah going into captivity, or Judah sinning, or Judah did evil, there is a remnant. There will always be a remnant. The Most High always has a remnant of those that are doing righteously. Remember when Elijah was afraid, and he was like, oh man, Jezebel. And Elijah was like, man, I'm the only one left. And the Most High said, look, dude, no, you're not the only one left. I got 5,000 that have never bowed the knee. So there is always a remnant that the Most High will have, period and point blank. Now, so you do have two different, it's kind of like how in the 1st century BCE, you had the Zadokites. You had one branch that was righteous and holy, but then you had another branch that was tied together with Rome. So even though they were Zadokite priests, you had a split, if you will. You find that all throughout our history. You find that even in the Tanakh. And so when it comes to Edom, you also have a separation or a bifurcation where you got these two separate groups. One began genetically as Edom, as Edom, as, the kindred and people of Esau. But because of alliances and because of confederacies of individuals joining themselves with others, okay, you have different people groups coming together, and this is what you find when you take a look at Edom. Edom is associated with Kittim, which is Rome, which of course becomes what we would call modern day white people. So it's not genetic. It's, once again, it's because of this joining together of these two different people. Now, let me point your attention to Psalm 83, because in 83 we see, in fact, let me show you this real quick. In Psalms 83 we have where we're talking about those nations that have become confederate, those that have actually conspired to make Israel to no longer be a nation. Notice what it reads here as I show you this. I'm going to begin with verse 3. They have taken crafty counsels against thy people to consult against thy hidden ones. They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance, for they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate. So they formed a confederacy together. And who are the first three that they mention? The tabernacles of Edom, okay, and the Ishmaelites of Moab, and the Hagarenes, Gebal and Ammon, Amalek, the Philistines with the inhabitants of Tyre. Ashur is also joined with them. So you had Shemitic people groups tied together with Edom, with the Edomites, okay, coming against us. So once again, basically it's by confederacy. By confederacy. That word in the 5th verse of Psalm 83 and 4 says it all. It's people joining together against us. It's just like you find today where a lot of the dark-skinned Eastern Indians are taught to be prejudiced against black people. And you find that, you know, it's kind of like the Chinese and the Japanese fighting each other. It's like, man, dude, I mean, like, why are y'all doing this, right? Even to the point to where the Klan has opened up its doors to many of the Eastern Indian because they hate us so much. And the Klan's like, look, if you hate them, then fine, help us, right? But, oh, by the way, we're also going to get rid of you because you've got melanin, you know, and you may think that you're going to skate free, but no. You just help us get rid of them, and then we'll take care of you, kind of a thing. Which is kind of like the FAFO, you know, in that kind of a setting. But short answer is that it's confederacy, not genetics, my brother.
Right. That I don't mind the confederacy. I don't mind that. But every time you see something happen in the news, and a person of ethnic, of Caucasian ethnic, the first thing they put, Edom. This is Edom. I'm like, what? Wait, huh? I'm like, how you take geographical ethnic group and then you categorize it as a people. Mm-hmm. It doesn't align. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't, and it doesn't make sense. According to the word, it doesn't align at all. If it comes to confederacy, which is fine, because Esau was a confederate with many, just like Jew, and many of our different tribes was in confederacy with many other men, especially us, Judah. We were in confederacy, right?
It's right there in Psalm 83. It's right there in Psalm 83.
We are known for that, right?
Yeah. So
that's why I'm telling people that you cannot label if a person of ethnic, so a particular ethnic, and you literally assign or kin to that person.
Yeah.
Even though you cannot assign. That's a thing that bothers me.
Yeah. Well, here's something that I want. Listen, here's what I want the entire family to do. When it comes to nations, rather than thinking genetically, I want you to think more, as I say it all the time, think ideologically. Think about the ideas and think about the philosophy of what they're thinking, and people get together based upon ideas. Okay? So think about it that way rather than just saying this block of people is this and that block of people is that. No, you have to look at it deeper than that, okay? So thank you for your question. Thank you for your time. I'm getting ready to get out of here and go eat.
Myself. I'm gonna get up and go eat myself.
Okay.
Shalom. Thanks for having me.
All right. Bless you, my brother.
Bless you.
All right, fam. So, hey, I appreciate my brother Gilly for that question. And you know what? We're going to go ahead and we're going to skedaddle. And yeah, I do appreciate all of you, your comments, your questions. I'm sorry, I'm looking at a comment from my brother. Man, I would really like to hang out with my brother Bergen Paris, man. He keeps me laughing. He said, is Debo riding his bike? Man, that is funny. But hey, listen. listen. Peace and blessings to you, my brothers and sisters. Hey, we're going to get out of here. And may you enjoy the rest of your Shabbat. I love you all from my heart. Thank you once again for helping me fulfill my life purpose by teaching you. And I'm glad that we've had fun together. But listen, hey, Yah willing, we will come back for our midweek. And, midweek is starting to be really, really interesting, of course. Shabbat morning coffee is good. It's solid, right? But the midweek is interesting. We get into some interesting topics, some interesting things. And so, hey, we invite you to come with us, invite someone. And peace and blessings to you too, Miss H. Bless you, Miss H. Big hug to you, Miss H, as well as to all of you, our beloved elder, and all of you. Peace and blessings to you. Michael Charles Marsh, appreciate you, man. We are out of here. May the Most High bless you all. I am getting ready. Yeah. Yep. It's time. It's time to throw down. I got some food waiting on me upstairs. Peace and blessings to you too. Yeah, Shabbat Shalom to you too, Penny. Love you guys. To Josh, I said, hey, we will see you guys a little later. May the Most High bless you. And you know what? Yeah. We'll see you, Yah willing, next time. Shalom.